want to get a news update, my brother Tunto Spoon. You want to know what is happening, my brother Tunto Spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just Tunto Spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, Tunto Spoon. Tunto Spoon. Tunto Spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, Tunto Spoon. Tunto Spoon. If you eat Cape Town, congratulate my brother Tunto Spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, Tunto Spoon. Tunto Spoon. You want to get a news update, Tunto Spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba.
Indeed, if you're in Grand Gila, you're in River G, you're in Sino County, you're somewhere across Riverses, or maybe you in some parts of the world. This is where Liberians gather to talk about the trending issues, to get authentic information about all of the major happenings across the country every single day. Spoon Talk has absolutely no borders, because regardless of where you are, you can always tune to Spoon and know exactly what the happenings are in the country. We're streaming live across the internet. We're live on YouTube, Spoon Talk Live. We're live on Facebook, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV. We're also live in Liberia on several radio frequencies on Spoon FM 107.5, on Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5 FM. Thanks to our partner radio stations across the country that are always relaying this program. In fact, they are a part of this joining in making sure that Liberians are informed. Thanks to Punch 106.7 FM, thanks to Premier FM there in Bon County, thanks to Trust FM in Bombing County, Trend Radio in Grand Crew County, and of course, Gibi FM in Kakatama, Gibi County. It's a great way to welcome you to another edition of Spoon Talk. My name is Nelson Colette, and I'd like to say welcome. Kindly share the program as you join us tonight. I see James Gude Flomo is already here. Let me bring on Mr. Dwalo. James, welcome to the show. And I bring on Dr. Richardson as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Richardson, hello.
Yeah, hello. How you doing?
Yeah, we're okay. We're doing good.
You sounded like there's an echo.
Yeah, there's an echo. I can hear it myself.
Yeah, the both of you echo coming from your end.
Okay, so this is it. I think it's much better now.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Hello. Okay, testing.
yeah.
Hello. How you doing today?
Yeah, we're doing good, Dr. Richardson, and we are glad to see another weekend.
Yeah, it is Saturday. We are back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on in our country?
The country is good. Liberia, everything is moving on fine, except that there are different discussions that folks are having across the country as part of the usual political activities and stuff like that. There are agreements and disagreements on different issues, especially with a new government taking power, a new administration, a little over 1 month in office. There are expectations that some people had from the very day the government was inaugurated. So conversations are beginning to spark on those expectations as well. Others think that, but now that you start to see those expectations gradually becoming realities, why others hold on to the other side of the argument that says it's still too early. We still need to look, be patient, manage our expectation, and see what happens in the coming maybe 3-4 months. Some say at least 4 months is just okay to have as a window period where you can be able to evaluate, let's say, give the government time to set all all of the groundworks and everything. At least after 4 months, if you don't see anything, then you can start to criticize. So there have been, cross views on those kinds of issues, and the fight against drugs continues as well. There have been some commending the newly appointed or confirmed LDA boss, Mr. A.B. Krumah, and across the social media in several quarters in the country. Even us on the radio, there are times people will call you and say, please give me A.B. Krumah number. I know play. I know so many people get ghetto rap behind me. There was even a visually impaired guy who made me a call. He said, brother, the people, their activities it really embarrassing me. Please give me A.B. Krumah number, So this fight against drugs, especially the pace at which the LDA has taken on this fight, is something that some Liberians are commending as well. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that is awesome. I want to give it up for our people in Liberia who are keeping an eye on the community, making sure that things operate as it should. People live in a communal way, that there wouldn't be under duress because of drugs in the neighborhood. I want to hear from the journalist from Warsaw. I see he's on here today. The journalist from Warsaw.
Yeah.
I may come into about Mr. Kumi's again. You come into
I told him last year, 2023, started let it bring in the 2024. So again, I mean, that new year, me, I'm moving on. They still stuck there.
Good evening. Just let me start from where you guys stopped with A.B. Krumah issue. Yeah. The last time when he appeared on the show, I was at work, and after I partly watched portion of it, but there were some key mistakes that were made during our raid, and even you guys did not highlight. Maybe AB will attribute it to logistics. It's very bad for even the DEA members who went for that raid. I saw them. I watched a video where everyone went to that place with bare hands. Yeah, they were there with bare hands. And if there's any good investigation, they all be implicated. Those who touch all of those things. So in a raid like that, they should at least cover their hands with gloves, and in order to avoid contact. But including AB, I saw all of them with their bare hands, and it's bad. So that would be an advice to them next time they shoot. At least if that 2 for 5 glove set, $5 for one set, let it buy it and wear it. Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad for them. Yeah.
This is why we got to send our children to school, in other parts of the world.
Wow, look at that.
The great things, you hear the man giving us expert advice on not contaminating your evidence,
Yeah.
you need to do. So I love it. I love it, journalists.
Yeah, if they are, we're not talking about sentimental judgment, but if they are to go through real judgment where the law would think it goes, I'm sorry to say, the evidence were tampered with already. Yeah, they were tampered with because they touched them with their hands and so forth. If they are to do forensic and so forth, some of them, their hands are going to be implicated. Their DNA will be implicated. And at the end of the day, why are they going to see their fingerprint? Where they say, oh, we went to arrest them? No, my friend, you should have known better to prevent that. But again, that is Liberia.
Well, yeah, we're getting better. I know that we're expecting a guest today. I'm going to turn it over to Tualu because I know he likes to give his little pep talk. But we are expecting a guest today. As soon as the guests settle in the studio, Tualu, you can give me a cue that they are. But I want to turn things over to you.
Yeah, the guest is already here. They're setting them up, so it'll be here pretty soon. But while we're waiting for them, let me just recognize some of our people. Good day, welcome to the show, Doc. It's a pleasure, as always, to have you on. Let me recognize John Daze. I see James Sonkale. How are you doing? Melvin Davis. Mr. Davis, how are you doing? Shirley Snell, Ophelia N. Williams. Welcome to the show. I see over here, Let's Fix It. Welcome, Mr. Let's Fix It from YouTube. I see Melvin Davis. I see Henry B. Caldi Sr. Morris Cully. Welcome to the show, Mr. Cully. I see Boama A. Kamara, Omar Rogers, D. Moses Alexander, more about Tenwe. Welcome to the show, everybody. Beatrice Sapla Pupo, Roland Ben. Mr. Ben, how you doing? I see Rose Sonkali from YouTube. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. I see Edwin Swa. I see Joel Myers. Over here, I see Martha Campbell. Martha, how are you doing? More about Tenwe. I see Boaka Kiawu, Emmanuel Secor. Mr. Secor, welcome to the show. Jeremiah Akwe. I see Vivian Nadi Thomas. How you doing, Vivian? Samuel Cole. Simeon something, Godchild. I see Roberta Famata Lewis Benson. Aaron Kennedy. Elizana Yali. Nadia George Teaching. I see Foma Momo Kanen. Othello and Kongia. Thomas Ahmed. Look, everybody, man, welcome to the show. Let's Talk Liberia. You know, the president talked about today declaring war on drugs in his country. It's a great thing. The other thing I will add to that, I hope the administration is preparing. And we got to build more prisons, more proper prisons. We got to build the institutions to support that war on drugs, something the entire country welcomes. And then I think we have a lot to do, because if we don't tackle this issue, it's good to talk about across the country, the drug issue. Everybody's continuing to talk about the drug issue. It is a good thing. We have to talk about it. By the same token, we got to put some money in there. The war on drug is not going to be an easy fight. Let me assure you. The war on drugs is not going to be an easy fight. I believe the Americans have been fighting this war for some 40 years, and they're losing that battle. If Liberia is going to get serious about fighting the war on drugs, we have to put some money. We have to put a lot of resources, a lot of manpower into the drug issue to truly address this drug issue. Guys, remember, the drug issue is actually linked to the medical issue in the country. So we have a lot of work to do. Once again, man, let's welcome Aretha Momo, Margaret Morgan. Madam Morgan, welcome to the show. Patricia Verdia, Emmanuel Fifle. I see Mommy Esther Topi Moore. Madam Moore, welcome to the show. I see over here Boama and Kamara, Princess K. Masale. Madam Masale, how are you doing? Owens O. Morgan, Morgan, how are you doing? Rose City, I think I say your name already. Emma Cowie, Tommy and Baba, how are you? Mentor, yeah. I see Marteline Ducle for Formula, Mary G. Weir. Madam Weir, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show everywhere. Whatever you're, man, you're kind of here to talk about Liberia. This is important. I see Ricky Young. Mr. Young, welcome to the show. Martha Doki, Wilbur Doba. I see Kanye and K. Bozy. Venetius Moba. Mr. Moba, how are you doing? Everywhere, man. Whatever you are, welcome to the show. Let's talk Liberia. This is our common heritage. We have to force the issue, push the issue, in order to get some results in this country. Once again, to the audience, everybody coming on, Dr. Francine, I want to turn it over back to you.
It's great to have all of us here today to talk about Liberia. As I said to you earlier, we are expecting guests from the medical department of Liberia. When they come on, we'll definitely introduce them to you specifically, who they are. They are representing the medical aspects of our country. We want to talk about how they are contributing to the country. What are some of their needs? What are some of their challenges? What are some of the successes that they have provided to the country? So I'm still waiting for them to set up. James, is there anything else you'd like to add? Your feedback about the contamination of evidence was very helpful. I'm sure that the current boss of the LDEA is paying attention. I'm sure that moving forward, I hope that he makes the right decision, because you're very right. They will have to double up on the evidence if they have to go to court. It makes things a little bit more challenging when your evidence are contaminated. We're not saying that you can't win the case, because there's other evidence that can overshadow the contaminated evidence, but it makes it a whole lot difficult when you have such an easy case. Yeah. So that was a great observation. I believe that Glendy brought this up when he was here. I wasn't on the show. I don't think I was on the show that night. I probably was in class that night. Was I? I don't think so, Dwali, right? I can't
No,
remember.
you weren't on the show that night.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
that's from Good Day. It's in Warsaw. What's going on in Warsaw, man? Do we have a lot of Liberians, a lot of Africans? I heard the Polish, and I've listened to some of the legislators. They don't joke around when it comes to foreigners. They try to keep foreigners out of the country. Is there any truth to it, Mr. Flomo?
That was several years ago.
No, actually, the current prime minister of the country, I forgot his name. He's extremely vocal about this.
No, he was voted out.
Okay.
He was voted out. Now we have Donald, who won the opposition. We have opposition currently as the prime minister, who is also friendly with the EU migration policy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a new prime minister who been in power for I think about 3-4 months. Yes, he been there for some time now, and yes, we have more foreigners here, specifically Africans from Zimbabwe, South Africa. The southern part of Africa, but Liberians, I cannot point to more than 5 or 6 Liberians. Yeah, I know about another person who is in one city working. I know of a girl who's doing nursing. Another one just joined us. Basically, I think about 4 to 5 plus the guy we met here. That's about 6. I don't know more than 10 or 15 Liberians living here. I don't know.
that's good. So,
Yeah.
as we speak about international news, I've been very attentive to what's happening in Russia. The death of, I believe his name is Navalny. That is so concerning to me. I mean, Putin is no joke. He's no joke. He reminds me of a African leader. I'm sorry to say, or maybe African leaders learn from him. I don't know which one, but it saddens me that that he died in that manner, especially when he was one of the primary opposition to Putin in Russia. He was strong. I mean, he was convicted. He stood by what he believed. He was always pointing out the government's wrongdoing, and so he paid the ultimate price, which was death. He paid the ultimate price. I saw a picture of him. I don't know if you guys saw it, where he had turned green. That just stuck in my mind. It really stuck in my mind. So I know Liberians are paying attention because we tend to be very aware of other things that are happening in the world. But you guys have any thoughts about that before we go? As we wait, we're waiting for our medical staff members. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
they're continuing to set them up. Look, internationally, Dr. Francine, and for me personally, I love what every other country does about their international affairs. Whatever benefits their country is what they promote, and they protect the interests of their country. On the contrary, where we here in Liberia, we don't do that. Actually, it's quite the opposite. We tend not to protect Liberian interests. Putin knows what he's doing. He's a seasoned politician, and like him or hate him, but whatever he does, it lifts Russia. It lifts his people. It protects his people. It protects his sovereign integrity of his country. So for me, I don't have too many qualms about the man. He will play his card the way he sees fit to protect the Russian sovereignty. And in many instances, I think every country should be doing just that. I hope Liberia does that someday.
While you just want to talk about Liberia, you just into your country. I'm blaming you, yeah.
So, yes, the issue about Russia, we should be thankful. Basically, people in Liberia, the US, and other few countries that quote unquote practice democracy. Yeah, where you have free speech, where you speak whatever on your mind and walk away free. We saw it during Weah's administration. People spoke around here. Politicians were now in prison. The major opposition leader, President Joe Biden, was never arrested, or Comey, no one was arrested. But with Russia, it's terrible. And not just Russia. They have few African countries also that practice that, where you don't just speak loosely and move, where government has a crackdown on on free speech and so forth. And whenever you stand up against the government that be, it becomes a serious problem for you and your family or your supporters. So what we saw in Russia a couple of days ago, the government is saying they are not responsible for it, but again, they will not come out and say we killed or we did this. But that is it. When you are a politician or when you intend to take certain route, you should get prepared to withstand whatever result that come with it. And again, that is again in Haiti, a woman that is the ex-wife of the former president who was assassinated has also been indicted. The court is claiming that she knew about the plot against her husband, though she got injured critically during the incident. He died about two years ago. The president of Haiti was assassinated about 2 years ago. Over 50 people have also been indicted, linking them to his assassination, including the latest one is his wife. Imagine the court has come out to say the wife knew about it and she was part of the plot that killed her husband. Since his death, Haiti is yet to have a president. The country is almost like a failed state. Yeah, people describe it like a failed state because you have gangsters, drugs cartel. We have what we see in Liberia. We should pray to God. We should not even escalate to that. And by God's willing, that is not going to happen. So Haiti now, where about 80% of the capital, is being controlled by drugs law. They are in charge and people are being displayed everywhere, nowhere to go, running away from their homes. These guys will enter your home. A failed state is a state that there's no law and order. No one respects the law. Do whatever I want to do. So basically, Haiti is heading to that direction since the assassination of their president. But the latest one is a woman who was indicted, who got injured the very day her husband got killed. She was also injured by those assassins, but they indicted her.
Thank you. Good day for your updates. We are very aware of what's happening internationally, although we tend to focus on Liberia on this channel, but it's really good for us to keep our eyes and ears on what's going on in the world so we can know what not to do. We don't want to go the route of Haiti at all. How are we doing, Dwalu? Any news in the studio there in terms of updates? We can't hear you, Dwalu. Dwalu, we can't hear you. We're not hearing you at all. You're speaking and we're not hearing you.
I think he's having a conversation with somebody. And
okay, so can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
My mic was muted. So maybe another 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
They'll be coming live. They're setting them up.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I see people on the live saying they don't care about Haiti. Haiti, just for a brief history of Haiti, Haiti is the first Black independent country in the world.
Yes.
So as a Black man, you should care for them. They were the first people who gained independence, followed by us, Liberia. So basically, we should link them. We should talk about them. 1804, yes, and then we came 1847. At least they are Black. They are in the Americas, but they are still Black. And what concern one Black person should concern another person. Not because they are not in Africa, but we should care for them. They were the first Black nation in the world, and they opened the way for all Black nations in the world. Today, we all can stand up and say we have freedom. They fought against the French encroachment. When the French were there, they fought against them, and at the end of the day, they were successful to regain their country, and they became an independent state. So they were the first, and we came second. So we should talk about them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But good day.
Go ahead.
I'll add this there about Haiti as well. A lot of times, geopolitically, we are all interlinked, whether you know this or not. You don't have to agree, but it's just the reality of things. But I want you to understand something. What is happening in Haiti is a textbook case that Liberia can learn from. If we don't address some of the dire circumstances in this country and try to study what's happening in Haiti, that can happen here in this country. And the ramification that you see in Haiti today with a total collapse of the system, total chaos, gangs control certain enclaves of the city of Port-au-Prince. I've been to Port-au-Prince 2 or 3 times. I know the area pretty good. And I will tell you this, it's entirely chaotic in that location. So Liberia, you should be interested in Haiti because we can use Haiti to study the conditions to make sure they are not replicated here in our country. That's why you should be interested in Haiti. When people talk about global political issues, this is what it means. It doesn't mean you just want to know about Norway or you want to know about Poland. You want to understand what they are doing right or wrong, and we can adjust that or indigenize that to the Liberian condition. That's why you study these locations. I just want to add that in.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We want to say hello to everyone who's here and our commentator Les joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to be here. Please share the show. Don't forget to do that. I want to welcome Glendy as well. Glendy, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Great.
Glendy, hold on. Doc, I
Yes.
could have sworn Glendy was just on another show. Were you?
I was.
This woman.
I was.
Woman. Yes, and all for the sake of Liberia.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are waiting, Glendy, for some of our medical colleagues in Liberia to come on. They are here to talk more, continue the conversation that we had last week about, their challenges, their successes, how they have contributed to the medical arena as a whole in Liberia. So they are setting up, and you've been a nurse that I'm very proud of. She's,
I'm going to lean on you to ask the right questions.
No, please.
Rised up in the whole establishment. She's actually a DO, if I remember correctly, right?
So Doc, you won't put me on page.
Yeah, but I just happened.
I'm not in that role anymore. I work in another role, but a little higher than that.
But she's been through the ranks. That's what I really. That's kind of what I want to say. She can tell you a lot about medicine and the nursing establishment, because if you ask me, I think the nurses did do a bulk of the work. They know what's going on. The doctors are there. I wouldn't undermine them, but the nurses, some of them are worked very hard and equal part to the doctors. So Glenn will be here, contributing as well as we all will come from different perspective. But I appreciate all my Liberian nurses, honestly. I just think that they work so hard, they contribute to their family. And being a nurse is not an easy job. Any profession for that matter is not an easy job. But they're essential employees, basically. You gotta go to work. I gotta tell people when it's snows.
Even when you won't go, you gotta go.
Yes, when
you gotta go.
Yes, when it snows here or the weather is bad, fire somewhere, wherever, when they send that car there for essential workers to go, then they don't want me making a decision. Y'all gotta come. They don't want calling people.
But I think one of the hardest things for nurses, all around the world, was when the COVID time was very hard for me, extremely hard. I have an elderly mom who lives with me, and then having to go to work and then get exposed to COVID. I think I had COVID 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, when I think back about it, but it was tough.
Yeah,
you have to take care of the people. You don't have a choice.
That's true. You guys are on the first line. I mean, I remember the news, you guys were actually like the first liner. And some of the challenges my nursing friends also told me to, Glendy, I'm sure you can attest to that they're so compassionate and caring about the patient. They got to be next to them, near them, It's kind of ask them questions, touching them. But COVID put a dent in all of that. You couldn't really do that the way you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So,
social isolation was huge.
Yes.
Social isolation for during the COVID time was hard for families, was hard for patients and nurses. And some of the patients, the only families they have are the nurses, the people that work in the areas with them. So it's kind of difficult, but we survived. Some people didn't. We survived. It's within like an army person would say, or somebody in the military would say, it's in the line of duty. I guess that's how we look at it.
That's
what we have to do. Yeah,
that's great. another thing that we on the other end, I'm sure you guys are studying too, relating to COVID. Our people are ready. I just got a call from Nelson and I asked him to bring them on. They'll be coming on whenever, but we're still looking at the ramifications of COVID. We've seen remnants of, especially students, watching the students who didn't go to school that last year and who are not entering college. We're also watching the effects of COVID on psychological issues like memory, attention, focusing, socialization. So all of those things we sort of measuring and studying right now. I'm sure you guys are seeing it a little bit too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
True. That's true.
interesting, really interesting. Well, I hope that the world wouldn't go through what we went through with COVID again, but that's not to say, diseases are all over the place. Where's my medical people? I'm waiting for you guys. Nelson just called me and said that you guys are getting ready. Walu, are they coming? Are they getting ready?
They are practically ready. I think they're about to log them in. So they
Okay, good. Because I want to can't jump here. Hi, Dr. Commander. Well, Senator can't jump in here. Y'all know that our time for talking nursing and medical team will be through because you won't talk politics. So I just won't get us to have that conversation. Hello, Dr. Commander. We want to welcome you to Spoon again. Stranger to Spoon. Everybody knows that you were here last week. It was great having you. So we just want to continue the conversation. Yes, I'll let you reintroduce yourself to Liberian people, and introduce who you have here with us, your colleagues.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon for those in the diaspora. Good morning. I'm Dr. Siawata Kamano. I am the recent past Chief Medical Officer of the John F. Kennedy Medical Center. I am the first Vice President of the Liberia College of Physicians and Surgeons. I am a pediatrician and faculty at the AMWT College of Medicine. And I'm proud once again and honored to be here to talk about what I love, what is my passion. And I've got my brothers in the house, and I'm hoping that they will have more opportunity to talk about the aircraft and what they're doing, so that we get a holistic picture of what is happening in the healthcare sector in Liberia, so that we get all the actors to talk about their issues and represent their bodies and their constituents, so to speak. Thank you.
Great.
There is a sound.
Yeah. Theophilus Tambafaya. I'm the president of the Liberia National Physician Assistant Association and the board chairperson for Liberia Life Sciences Professionals and the co-chair for Liberia Medical and Dental Council as well. So it's a pleasure being with you people in studio tonight. And let me say hats up to all physician assistant, all allied professionals in the Republic of Liberia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Benjamin Siame, I hope I'm saying that right.
Okay, that's Suame, Benjamin Suame.
Suame, sorry, I got it.
So I'm Benjamin Suame, and for the sake of the show tonight, I'm the president for the Liberian Nurses Association. So I'm grateful to be in studio, and I'm very happy for to the Spoon Talk for living up to their promise to have brought us back for a repeat of the show last week. And so I'm so appreciative of the talk show host, and I'm grateful to the CEO Stanton for living to his word. So just want to be so grateful, and both of my nurses are equally listening as they promised, because a lot of them person who were listening to you, and Stanton said they were even reminding me, hey, you're going by on Saturday and we'll be there with the destiny with you. Some people say I'll put my data in my phone. So I'm so grateful to them who are equally also listening to me on the Spoon Talks tonight. Thank you, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll do one question and then we'll go around just asking you guys. I heard you guys speak this week a lot about physician assistant, and in the Liberian context, can you guys please define it for us? Physician assistant is growing in the United States and is someone who is a nurse here, and then that person takes further specialized courses to become a physician assistant. And in some states, and Glennie can elaborate on that, they have the opportunity to prescribe. Okay, this is why we call them physician assistant. I want to know, in Liberian context, is that similar or different?
It's a little bit different for Liberia. In Liberia, physician assistant profession was founded here in 1964, and it was meant to bridge the gap between medical services and that of medical services. So in Liberia, we normally admit students for the physician assistant study from high school, meaning you should pass in the sciences and you have above 75% school. So when you are admitted at Todman National Institute, for example, which is offering right now diploma for 3 years, you study and your courses are different in line with medical training. For example, you are trained to examine the patient, to read up laboratory result, to also prescribe as well. Like for example, in Cottington, you obtain up to bachelor's. But luckily for us in Liberia right now, we have had physician assistant that went into the OB clinician training, and he graduated there as an OB clinician. So he specifically specialized in OBGYN. And we have physician assistant also working with JFK that are opportune to travel to India, and some of them have specialized in ophthalmology. And before the war, we have people that study ENT. So basically now Liberia physician assistant are divided into like 3 categories. We have physician assistant with non-clinical specialty, which is a GP. And we have physician assistant with clinical specialty, who are those that study exclusively with clinical specialized fields. And we have physician assistant also in public health. So physician assistant before you enroll into the study of public health science. So these are the basic 3 categories of physician assistant we have right now in Liberia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Dwalo, and then we'll go to...
guys, welcome to the show. My question is first going to go to my brother Swami here. In Liberia, now, say what is wrong, true or not, but there is this belief that nurses are extremely rude. When you go to the hospital, especially when you're pregnant, nurses will give you the most insults. To tell you, listen, when you were counting ceiling tile, let me just explain the Liberian bit. Is there any truth to that?
Well, to tell you, see, in society, you will not find an ills. That means I don't live in a society, because there are ills in the society, and so there will be ills in the nursing profession. And so we need to count. We don't wish to see it, but let me say it this way: I know when the manufacturer is fixing the plastic bag, he doesn't wish to have a hole on it, because, like, especially the one that contains the water, he doesn't want to have a hole on it. But mistakenly, sometimes the precision is not 100%. So,
Mr. Swami,
I
interrupt you.
come in. So what I'm trying to say is that, I acknowledge that, yes, that there are times, sometimes the behavior pop up in some of our colleagues, but just to let you understand that there are so many good nurses in Liberia, but sometimes, of course, yes, there are so many products in the factory. There will be one factory for it. So,
we're not hearing you, Twalu.
Mr. Collect,
we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not talking about an isolated case. There are reports upon reports from every clinic across the country, especially from JFK. I have personally taken at least 4 or 5 pregnant women. They come to my yard and say, "Hey, Mr. Walu,
there's still an echo. There's still an echo."
And a lot of them complain that the nurses are very rude to them, that the nurses are very unprofessional. The nurses insult them. I'm not talking about an isolated case. I'm talking about tons of reports. I'm fully aware about the case. But my question is really truthful. There are a large majority of nurses in Liberia are rude. That is correct.
to answer that, so let me give people another I will answer here, and to answer that, let me also acknowledge them for the work they do.
We can't hear you guys, so it's very
Yeah,
low.
So
the
let
echo
me
is kind of
your
bad.
question.
1 second until they can't hear you. No,
There's an echo.
It seems that I'm muted.
no, the muted part is fine. It stays muted, but you can talk. They're trying to fix Dr. Francine. Say something again, Brother Swami. Let's see.
So I was saying that
Much better. Speak into the mic then. Don't look at Tualu. Look at us.
Speaking to my Brother Swami. Yeah. So you're good. Yeah. Like that.
yeah, so again, like I said, let me acknowledge the work they do. There are so many good nurses in Liberia. There are also some nurses in Liberia whose behaviors are not expected the way they behave. About if you say large number, I don't have a percentage, but I will tell you that of course, yes, some of our colleagues' behavior are actually unfortunate. That we don't expect them to behave the way they behave. That I can acknowledge that it happened. But to say large percentage, I don't have the statistic to that. But of course, yes, I will acknowledge that yes, if you look at some of the challenges are online tonight, you will see some of the way our colleagues' behavior are also some of the challenges as well, because the way people they conduct themselves at some point in time, it becomes even more, it gives us more difficulties in our advocacies, because sometimes you go to advocates and people will tell you, say, are these the people you're talking about? And so they give you pictures, they give you recording, they give you videos. Of course, yes, those things are actually part of our challenges, and that which I will not tell you, say it does not exist. They do actually exist in the country.
Okay, I appreciate it.
But there are also so many good nurses as well.
I acknowledge that, but I want to go to the doc. Dr. Siawata. I want to say this because she's been an administrator before. Does the hospital, for instance, JFK Hospital, does the hospital have a system where you can track and try to weed out bad nurses?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Douala, for your question. Yes, there is a system intrinsically, because we have a structure. We have a nursing directress, and then we have nurse managers over each hospital. And then we also have supervisors and team leads, floor nurses, charge nurses, shift nurses. And definitely the term of reference is to supervise and also to monitor the work of the nurses. So, and I want to once again give a shout out to our nursing directress, Mrs. Bala. And they periodically, they do appraisal, they have incident reports, they do discipline, they do, and there's training. It's not just about weeding out the bad nurses, because if we try that, we'll end up with very few. We'll get rid of everybody.
True.
So what the problem that we see in the hospital is a reflection of what's happening in Liberia.
I agree.
Liberians are traumatized. Yeah. I say this because if you go out in the streets and you see our response to someone has an accident and we're there looking, you go to the stove, we're not patient, so we expect in the hospital, then we'll turn to angels. But I think actually, just our response, we're aggressive. Where is the good customer service? Hello. So it's a issue that needs to be addressed. But there's training.
Yeah.
So we have in-service training. And we also look at I like to make analogies. Sometimes you have a woman and you feel that she's so aggressive and she's so, she's impossible. And all that woman actually needs is love. Sometimes when you just show some compassion, you're kind, that can turn someone around. So what my approach is, the environment our nurses find themselves in, are we taking care of them? We expect caregivers to be angels.
Yeah.
And you have people who are demotivated, demoralized. Their remuneration is not reflective of the work that they do.
Right.
So they're doing a piece of job. People say, oh, I saw a comment that they enter the field for money. If that was the case, I don't think we'll have nurses in Liberia. It's not that. Let me just kill that thought. It's not because of the money. But at the end of the day, they have demands, they have their family responsibility, and yet, they're struggling to meet to make ends meet. And then also professional development. We don't have a clear pathway for our nurses. So it's not an excuse. You have people who have challenges and they don't take it out. It's not displaced. I think there's a lot of displaced aggression.
I agree.
And I think it's something that's it's not, don't punish if there's a majority of the people are doing it, you can't get rid of all of them. So you need to go, we all assume we know what the problem is. They're just rude, they're just bad. Can we actually do qualitative research, do focus group, and find out what are the issues?
Correct.
And then based on that, we can come up with lasting solutions, because we all think it's an attitude problem, or it's ignorant, or we're just rude. And I think that is just being very superficial and condescending.
Okay.
I think there are some real issues, and I would like Mr. Swami to speak more. I don't want to speak for my nurses, but I can relate as a health worker. I love my nurses. I see some of their challenges. I see some of their struggles, and they are the first to see the patient. They are the last to see the patient. Most times before you die, when you're born, you see a midwife, and they actually spend more time with the patient. So they have a lot of interface with the patient, and so it's like a mom. That's just a mom. The child will bite you, spit on you. You get they say you can play with your mom, but the nurses are exposed more to the patient, and so they get the short end of the stick.
I agree.
Yeah, so that's just my thought.
Dr. Francine, before you come in, just 1 second, I'm begging you. My line of questioning is in no way, shape, or form intended to bias nurses. It's to find a way we can find a solution to improve the system. Okay, that was my intent, to improve the system. And I want to go back to you, Dr. Francine, just to make that clarity.
Let's go up to Glendy. Glendy, your turn to ask your question.
Hello, everybody. Mr. Swami, I want to ask you, so a nurse completes her courses to become a nurse today. What are the next steps before she starts working?
Swami, did you get a question? Directed at you, sir.
Yeah, I didn't really get Glendy's question. That is why I was struggling with the microphone, because I have a lot of questions. I'm not getting your question, please.
So my question is, we have a nurse who graduates today. Say she graduates today. She completes her nursing courses. What are the next steps?
Echo that for me.
When a nurse completes her courses today, what are the next steps before she goes into the hospital to practice?
Yeah, if a nurse completes the course of training, they don't just go straight into the hospital, because you are not allowed to practice as a nurse in Liberia without a license. So that nurse is supposed to take the board test and pass. And after he or she passes the board test, and it gives it allows that nurse. That nurse is given a license to practice, and so you don't practice in Liberia without having a license to practice. And so graduating from a nursing school just doesn't allow you to go straight into the hospital. That nurse, the prerequisite for practicing in Liberia is having a license, and so that's the prerequisite. I can say that. So they don't a nurse won't just quickly walk in the hospital and would just walk in the hospital and automatically because they are graduated and start to work. So the prerequisite is to have a license to practice, because everybody have it is the license number on which we are practicing, and so that's the first thing. If you graduate from the nursing school, you might have a license to practice.
So what is it? I still want to stick on the question. I want to ask also, how many times are they allowed to sit the board exam to be able to? You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but they're fixing this mic. I will relay this for you.
Yeah, how many times because in other places, like take for example here, you have 3 trials and then you have to go back to a class to be able to resit the exam. I want to find out from him, how many times can they take the board exam before they're exempted? So if you take it the first time and you fail, what are the next steps? Yeah. Or you can only take it once?
If you're still referring to the license issues,
no, okay, let me repeat the question. A nurse, how many times is she allowed or is he allowed to take the nursing test before they have to go back to school?
What again? I'm not charged with the authorities to speak for the Liberia both for nursing and midwifery. I don't know what the policy says to that. All I know is that you must pass all the 5 courses before you be issue a license. So if you pass 4 and fail 1, you still need to take that one to complete the 5. So, but again, what are the policies to that from the library, both for nursing and midwifery? Because the Librarian Nurses Association is a separate entity from that of the library, both for nursing and midwifery. Even though the president for Librarian Nurses Association is a board member, but he or she is not charged with the authorities to get into the policy-related issues. So I don't really know what the policy says. If we turn on how many times the person fails, how many times a person passes. So I'm not charged with authority, and I really don't know how much. But all I know is, I know before you practice in Liberia, you might practice on a license number. That's what I know. So graduating from, if you are a graduate nurse, you're not charged with the authority, or you are not permitted legally to practice in our hospital. That I know that.
So can I follow up on Glennie's question just for clarity? So after you pass your nursing from nursing school or from nursing college, do you then have a period to take a licensure exam? And then you become a nurse? Is that how you sum that license that you're saying you're practicing under somebody's license? Is that what you mean?
And I'm saying yes.
Oh, okay.
I said yes. I said if you come from other schools, you're given a specific time to take the test, and then after you pass, and then you can be given a license. So we have, like, for now in Liberia, we have 2 times to get our test. We give our test in May and November.
Okay.
So if you graduate until May reaches, you have to wait till May. If you graduated before May, if you graduated after November when the test is administered, you have to wait for a May test. And then if you graduated after May when the test is administered, you have to wait for November test. That I know about that. Yes, so those are the 2 times we administered both tests in Liberia. But the Liberian Board for Nursing and Midwifery can most speak better to that than the Liberian Nurses Association, who responsibility is quite different from that of the board.
So, Mr. Sorry, I wanna disagree with you, but I'm gonna say what my disagreement on and move on. You are the head of the nurses board in Liberia, the Nurses Association, and my question I'm asking you is not a policy question. It's a question that any nurse would know how many times you have to take a test before you can get a license. That's a simple question I'm asking. Do you take the test twice? Do you take it 3 times and then you have to go back? Like here in the States, if you have 3 trials to take the test. After you've taken it twice and you fail, they'll send you to do a class. You have to go to class before you can retake it. That's why I'm asking. It's not a policy thing. It's something that I think you, as the head of the Nurses Board Association, should know. But suffice it to say, it's okay. We can move on from that question, since you're not close with the authority to answer the question. My next question I want to ask is, there's so many nurses from Liberia all over the world. I want to ask you directly, your association, are there plans to link with nurses? Or if I'm a nurse, when I come to Liberia, or can I be here in the States or wherever I am and be a part of your association?
Johnny, can you translate that? Can you tell him? I don't think he heard.
There is a minimum fee that a nurse pays to the association. That is $20, 20 USD for 2 years. Which and that is the only money that the association gets from its members. A nurse is supposed to pay $20 US every 2 years. We're trying to see whether if there will be any amendment made to that. But for now, Liberia Nurses Association receive $20 USD from each nurse in Liberia. And again, to your first question, I would like to actually allow the board for nursing and midwifery to speak to that, how many times the person failed and allowed to go to school. And besides that, if there is a policy to that, I'm not very sure that is communicated to that of the association, because I would like to speak to what I know. So how many times a nurse failed and then have to go to school? I'm not. I really that data, that information is not available to me. But a nurse in Liberia actually pay $20 USD to the Liberian Nurses Association every 2 years.
That was
that is the only money that we have. And I can provide you statistics to that. In 2021, we got 1,014 persons, 1,014 nurses paying that money. In 2022, we got 676 persons paying that money. In 2023, we got 1,420 persons paying that money. That's in
Mr.
20.
Swami,
Those are statistics I provide. Like the last time I said, well, from the board statistic, there are 13,312 nurses in Liberia. From that data comes from the Liberia Board for Nursing and Midwifery. But for that of the Liberian Nurses Association, because if a nurse renews his or her license, they go to the Liberia Nurses Association and contribute $20. That $20 is going to be standing for 2 years, thereby making you an active member. We got three kinds of membership. We got active, inactive, and honorary members. And so active member, it means you have paid your $20, and that $20 is the one that sustains the association, because the association got nothing else other than the $20 each member pays.
So, Mr. Swami, my question was, I'm not in Liberia, but I am a nurse. Can I be a part of the Liberian Nurses Association? That was what my question was.
Sis Glenda, let me relay this question for you. You're having some difficulties getting the question over. She lives in Japan. She wants to be a part of the Liberian Nursing Association. Can she apply and be admitted into that?
No, the procedure here is that if you are in Japan and you want to have, you must first have a valid license in Liberia. To become a member of Liberian Nurses Association, you might have a valid license, and that valid license to practice in Liberia allows you to become a member for Liberian Nurses Association. Unlike honorary members. Because for honorary members, it means you are contributed extensively to the work of nurses in Liberia, and then the association can grant you an honorary license. And an honorary membership status. If you want to become an active member of Liberian Nurses Association, it means that you have a valid license in Liberia, and then you can be allowed, because of a valid license, and you are practicing in Liberia, to become a member for the Liberian Nurses Association for just paying $20 US, which will take you for 2 years.
So my interest, if I want to become an honorary member to be able to help support nurses in Liberia, what do I need to do? That's what my question is. What do I need to do?
The Liberian Nurses, you just need to contact us through Liberian Nurses Association, whether our Facebook page, Liberian Nurses Association, or you directly contact we got our website. I will tell you www.liberiannurses lr.org. But I'm very sure that web is supposed to be a little bit down now. But if you want to contact the Liberian Nurses Association directly, we got a Facebook page. The Facebook page with the logo bearing the Florence Nightingale Liberian Nurses Association. And Liberian Nurses, we got so many nurses abroad contacting us through that Facebook page. Currently, we are working with Saseta James. She's from Arizona. She's a nurse practicing in Arizona. And Roden is also there. They are extensively trying to see how they can work along with the Liberian Nurses Association. They are there working on. We're trying so many issues. When we reach to that point, I will talk about that. Those are the means through which the association survives, because the Liberian Nurses Association squarely. Liberian Nurses Association is the only institution in Liberia responsible for the welfare and advocacy for nurses in Liberia. But unfortunately, the association is not funded in any budget, not in the national budget, not in any other budget, except program-related donation, where maybe the nurses they come in and an NGO, a concept is waiting to an NGO, maybe to sponsor a specific components of the Nurses Day. And that is just so, beside program-related donation, the operation of the association squarely is not shown in any way. So that is the reason why, if you really say how do you contact us, if you don't, in any way, you try, you don't get them, and the Benjamin Swami, don't put it all there. Benjamin Swami is my Facebook page. I'm the president. So if you fight not getting the Liberian Nurses, which I know you will surely get, you can move it over from the middle of my name. Benjamin Swami is my Facebook page, and you can contact me and I will link you to the Facebook page. But we will so much appreciate people trying to see how they can help the association because it's actually struggling. You got institution won't survive in the absence of money. And I was just telling you, imagine an institution, let's say 2022, which was one of the very worst years for the association, 676 person paying $20. And the $20 is going to stand for 2 years. So you calculate that money, vehicle maintenance, office supply, lubricant, just name them all. By the time you do that, you can't even go 2-3 months in a particular funding, and you gone all of it. That is the reason why so the LNA is not just completely visible because if you want to just visit the 15 county, the budget will take almost 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000. Where do you take that from? That is going to consume the entire association earning for the whole year. So most time, I mean, that's just it. But we appreciate if you want to contact us. That's just how you contact us. You contact us through our Facebook page.
I'm not going to anybody else. You're the president. I already sent you friend requests. And I'm sending you a message. I'm not going to nobody. I'm going directly to you. You're the president.
Absolutely.
I've added you. I've requested friend requests from you, and I'm adding my number in your inbox so that we can talk after that. Okay?
Absolutely.
I'm going to look at that. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. So if you found the one with the logos, yes. So I will certainly check on it, and I will get to you and on that. So thank you so much, and I wish you share the message to other people as well.
I'm actually so happy that this connection was made because I want to just tell you guys who in the medical profession outside of something like psychology. There's a huge nursing association. There's a lot of Liberian nurses that are outside of Liberia that I think you guys can tap into their services, their financial support of you. That will really, really make a huge impact in Liberia. So I think this is a great move. I was hoping that this would have happened, earlier, but it's happening now. And Glennie, I kind of text about it, said that we just want that this show should be a way to energize the connection between you and the Liberian Nursing Association in the United States. There's one here, I believe, and anywhere else in the world. So I really think that a lot of people want to help. So great. That's a comment that I have. Dwalo, I'll go to you.
Yeah, I got a comment. I want to stretch Sis Glennie's question a little bit, but I want to go back to the Dr. Kamano. I'm going to say this to you. We have a lot of foreign doctors that do.
Dr. Kamano say, "Oh Lord, it may come into me again."
I still have more questions.
We have a lot of foreign doctors that come to this country. Now, Sis Glennie just asked, there is a procedure to actually be admitted into the Liberian Nursing Association. How do these people get to practice in Liberia? Do they go through the same process, or it is something entirely separate?
Thank you, Mr. Dwala, for your question. Disclaimer, I do not represent the Liberian Medical and Dental Council, but I did serve as a council member during my tenure as Chief Medical Officer. So, and thankfully, the co-chair of the council, and Mr. Theophilus Fire is here. So I'll try my best, and then Brother Fire can take over. So I just, right now, and I got this information through Mr. Fire, we have about 904 licensed and registered doctors in the Republic of Liberia. 45% of those are foreign. For those who want the figures, 407 out of 904, and 55% are Liberian, 497. We have a population of 5 million. If you do the maths, it's nowhere near the 1 to 1,000 ratio that WHO prescribes. So we need help. But we also don't want people to come and treat our people as guinea pigs. We need to have, and so the LMDC has, the Liberian Medical and Dental Council, it has requirements. You have to fill in an application form. You have to provide your credentials. You have to also have a reference and proof of registration in your country. And these credentials are then, they also do their own search. They will go online and call universities and hospitals. And they've been able to pick out fraudulent doctors, imposters, people who have been impersonating doctors. So there is a mechanism in place to protect our public. Though we do need help, we need the medical school is trying their best. They produce on average anything between 30 to 40 doctors a year, but it will not meet the demand. So we do need, and there are surplus. There are countries that have surplus of doctors. There's a brain drain. In Africa, we have people leaving Nigeria, Southern Africa. They are going to the Middle East, going to America, going to Australia. So we do need to attract foreign doctors, but we have to make sure that they are credentialed, that they are trained, they are safe. We don't want to unleash unsafe practitioners on our population.
Yeah.
We are in need, but we're not desperate. Yeah.
Okay. Before you come in, I just want to pile your question a little bit more. We have the mercy ships that come, especially to Liberia. Now they're here for a very brief period. How do we accommodate them in terms of ensuring that they meet the standards that are set by the Liberian Medical Association or Liberian Medical Board to perform surgeries in this country?
So I want to give my hats off to all our partners, the Mercy Ship. We have Kolobu Neuro Foundation right now at JFK. We have the Heart Foundation, and I'm going to leave someone out, and they're going to get upset. But just there are a lot of good people that do well, and we have Operation Smile, and Liberia has come through a period where we are recovering, revolving health system. We've been through the war, we've been through Ebola, and now COVID, and so we need help. We are fractured. We need help, and so they normally the Mercy Ship and those who have been here for a while, they communicate with the Ministry of Health. So they plan months in advance, and they let the Ministry of Health know this is what we want to do. And they partner with the ministry, they choose a site, they choose the hospitals, and they plan. It's a collaborative effort. When we have people who don't plan and they come, as saviors, and they come to help us, then there are challenges. They don't understand the terrain, and then they get overwhelmed and things don't go well. So when you plan ahead, then we're able to let them know, like all the foreign doctors and the people that come and do outreach, JFK applies to the LMDC on their behalf because they bring in experts and they bring in equipment and supplies. We offshoot the cost of their licensure. Those are some of the things that we negotiate. So that to answer your question.
Yeah. Okay. Brother.
Yeah.
Fire.
So thank you very much. I just becoming a little bit jealous because it was just like Ness's conversations where we are equal associations in the studio tonight.
That's right.
So for the LMDC issue, I'm the co-chair for that council.
Okay.
But again, I am going to provide educative information.
Okay.
But those informations are not the official one, because the official one should be sanctioned by the council, which is 13 members. So what I'm providing is educative for the public to be in the know.
Okay.
So those informations are when you want to apply for licensure in Liberia for the practice of medicine. When you come, you firstly read your letter, the type of license you want to apply for, and if you are granted, if that letter is received, you'll be turned over to the committee. There's a committee there that we call Credential Committee. So that letter the requirement in that letter, the form we're giving you is to attach every document that you want to. Like for example, if claiming a general practice license, you attach a general practice degree, and then you also attach a photocopy of the license that you've been practicing with, the country you're coming from. Because we cannot give you a generic license when you're coming from out of the country without subjecting you to internship. So normally if you come out of the country, we want proof of what makes you doctor. For example, we want to ask you for an intern certificate. So you present the intern certificate. If you present an intern certificate, you submit a credential, and there are the 3 members on the credential committee. They will vet your credential. If they are satisfied, they subject you to interview. And based on your interview outcome, they can now recommend to us that yes, this person can be granted license to practice. And we got temporary licensure. We also have a licensure that is like almost like permanent. You renew on an annual basis. So that is it. Regarding the issue of service, in Liberia, the service provision is being governed by Ministry of Health. So, and those services are regulated by LMDC. So, including the practice, including the infrastructure, including the environment, including the ethical consideration as well. So that makes us the referee in the medical sector. And my LMDC have jurisdiction on all the boards, all medical boards in Liberia. We hear malpractices or cases of complaint. We also go on spot to see the environment that the clinic is in. We want to see the type of services that you render and the personnel that are also rendering the services. They have to be matched. So if any deficit is discovered there, of course, we can summon you or we take some preventive actions on you. So that is it in Liberia. But we are a little bit flexible, especially for foreign national, because we don't want to make this country to look like we don't need help. We need help in terms of medical practice. Imagine the ratio of doctor to a patient is still very high in Liberia. So we still need more, and that's why you see Togalati was established to be able to bridge that gap. So that is our core function. So for tonight, I want to a little bit speak more specific about the physician assistant profession in Liberia, because I am here in my mostly advocacy gear to see how well that profession can be recognized on the map, so that that profession can be seen as a profession that's stood in the gap since 1964 of the foundation of that profession in Liberia. So I actually want to tailor that. So if you want to know more about the PA profession, I'm going to stand by to provide more insight, especially for tonight. I'm more prepared to give you the challenges and some of the prospects and some of those issues that are confronting the profession in Liberia as well. I'm more prepared to give you information in that direction. So
thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Faya, I believe you spoke about the PA status already. You told us that many of the PAs have specialization. They sort of are standing the gap of doctors in our country, considering the shortage. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Because I do have another question relating to telehealth.
Yeah, there are a lot of things I have to add. Like I told you when I started to narrate on the PA specialty, I didn't tell you that there is a specialized program in Liberia right now. All of the specialties that are named, they have to go out of the country to go and train. And our training and our specialty recognition, they have a guidance from CSA. CSA is saying that before you consider a specialized person, you got to go after your general training 1 year in the buff. So, like for example, we have the mental health training in Liberia that lasted for 6 months. So those mental health clinicians have been transitioned to UMU by doing a master of physician assistant psychiatry. So currently at UMU, there are specialized programs there for physician assistant psychiatry. But that is a private university, and it comes along with cost, a very huge cost per credit. So we are challenged in terms of having those kind of services being provided to them, and after the service after the training, they can go back in government and serve like it is done for our counterpart. I think it can be free of charge in training and after training, and then they can go and serve the country in that life. It'll be very good for them, because mind is a post-war country. We need mental health clinicians at a very high skill level. We don't have enough psychiatry in Liberia. And you need somebody from Foya, somebody from Grand Gillette, somebody from Grand Cru need mental health related care. And when you just go to school for 6 months, that might not prepare you enough to provide those services. But if government can actually intervene by establishing it at one of the state-run universities, or maybe incorporate it possibly like we have the psychiatric training, you also have psychiatric PA, because PA are there to fill in the gap where there is no doctor. So you prepare them adequately, they can take over our responsibility. And I also told you that there are challenges. PA learning diploma at the modern day, which is not reality. Look at the US. US, you gotta be a professional person like a nurse, then you decide to go and be a PA. In Liberia, we stay in that 1964 era. So we need to also modernize our curriculum so that the content of our curriculum can also be accepted universally. Ghana is moving forward. Ghana now having graduate physician assistant. They are doing that master level, and they are specializing as well. But in Liberia, we stay backward. But we need government intervention. We cannot do it on our own. If even TNM is in power, for example, to BSc level, TNM can maybe start thinking into that specialty program, or UL can take the lead by establishing it into special lab program. Because Liberia is a country that is very capping for medical services. We cannot overstate those needs of the medical field. The medical field in Liberia, wherever you find yourself, you need service. Even myself that here, I have become a patient before, and I also become a care provider before. So I had that experience. Everybody, including ourselves, we need it. If we can invest in it, it means that we're going to see the best for all ourselves.
Thank you.
So, my question to you: the world is moving towards telehealth, especially since COVID. Do you guys have any provision, or have you made any provision in the way that you practice medicine in Liberia to include telehealth? And I'll tell you one of the reasons why I have challenges as a psychologist, and it took me 6 years, not four months of training or whatever to become a psychologist. It's a whole doctorate degree that is required to become a psychologist. So one of my challenges I have when I want to practice is that people are asking me, how do you practice telehealth in a country like Liberia that doesn't have the reciprocation, like the liability, they don't have the credentialing, they don't have rules related to telehealth. So how do I do that in Liberia? So that's my challenge. What anybody can answer that question for me?
Let me have a shot at that. Dr. Francine, we're struggling with electricity, we're struggling with connectivity. Telemedicine is something for the future. Only those in the urban areas that have access to internet and electricity will be able to access that. The majority of Liberians won't be able to access those services. So we are aware. I mean, indirectly, we do have patients that will do video call and send WhatsApp pictures of their pathology.
That's precisely what I'm talking about. I think people make mistake telehealth to think that it's only a video conferencing, but Liberia need the kind of service where people need to tell me symptoms, and then I tell you if I think it's psychotic or mood disorder, or if it's just adjustment disorder. It can be
limited to people in the urban area.
Also send me pictures that like lab work. I have family members that send me the lab work that I send to medical people to read. So we can start from there. It doesn't really just include you coming to me for a visit, but there's no rules, there's no guidelines, there's nothing around that. That's why I'm asking, do you guys have provision to include that in the way you practice?
Okay, so that, Theo, let me just conclude and then you can take over. So that's happening now, at JFK, in other hospitals. That's how we even receive referrals. It takes time for paperwork to come through. So colleagues will send imaging and their notes and videos of their patients. Patients will send, but like you said, it's uncharted territory. There are no guidelines. So that's something the council needs to look into. Those are emerging health issues. But I'll let co-chair for LMDC speak.
Thank you for responding that way, because I think you undermine the point when people say, oh, we don't have electricity, so why should we focus on telehealth? But telehealth is the direction. That's where everyone's going, and we need to at least have some kind of guidelines. Like, people should be knowledgeable about how the privacy and confidentiality relating to WhatsApp, sharing confidential documents through telemedium, those kind of things are important to know. So I just wanted to just mention that. But thank you anyways.
So I'm fortunate to have MSF, and MSF France, they were in Liberia for 7 years, and I was trained into medical imaging. And most of our images, we used to have access to telemedicine. You have people in different parts of the world. Some of them are pulmonologists, and some of them are like neurosurgeon, and different portions of the body. So whenever you get a scan of that portion, and if you cannot interpret it perfectly for the patient, if it is life-threatening on the spot, there's a doctor that will always guide us, and they'll provide that, for example, in the case of tension pneumothorax, you need to relieve the patient quick. So you relieve the patient at the same time, you want to know what caused it. So you send that of the frame out, and then that consultant will just give you that response within the next 4 to 6 hours. As they're giving it to you, they're coming down with the management plan as well. So that was happening for an NGO. But in Liberia right now, we don't actually have a guidelines that can govern us offering those kind of services in terms of telemedicine. So telemedicine in Liberia, no. But in terms of clinical psychology, for example, MSL Runnery or mental health clinic, they even have mobile mental health clinic in Liberia. So when you need a service, but it is just restricted to children below the age of 15. That's why they are targeting. They are not after adult and so the list go on. So there's a gap in that area. UME also offering clinical psychology schools, but in Liberia is the first of its kind to have clinical psychology. So that is a gap. So these are the gap in the health sector that stakeholders can listen to tonight and venture into those areas. Post-war country like Liberia, you need psychologists, you need psychiatrists. Because in Liberia, our attitudes, you don't need to tell somebody that we have some degree of it. So we are in dire need of those services. And I hope the stakeholders are taking note of it.
You want to come in and say something to us?
Yeah, just referring to all of these things like he referring to, it's not just unique to the PA alone. So like not just to coin it on a human resource. Actually, like in the employer, Minister of Health should be something a little over 9,000, I think 9,070 employees. So then, yes, that should be a little over 9,000. So with this, you just kind of like see the system is a primary healthcare system, rely heavily on it where you have mid-level clinician comprising physician assistant, midwives, and nurses, shouldering the bulk of the burdens of the shouldering bulk of the health burden. So would he kind of like their constitution large percentage over 50-60% are shouldered by these countries? So if you don't invest in these countries of health workers, obviously you won't be investing in the system, because if you got nurses like all across the counties, you got midwives across the counties, you got physician assistants across the counties, and these people are not invested in. You really will not you will not have a quality of healthcare services, because let's take for example the only specialty school if we have in Liberia a core specialist program to only medical doctors and no other person. Like if we got what you got Liberia College of Physician and Surgeon, we should be calling the Liberia like Theo called the other day, Liberia College of Medical Specialties, because the time you're taking time to train one nurse all of these countries, you could to be training more than 10 nurses in the country. So if you call this particular college school of specialty, you have College of Department of Nursing and Midwifery, Department of Physician Assistant and Allied Health Sciences, Department of Radio Technician and Imaging. You got the department. These are people who will shoulder the burden, because the rationale is if you invest in the people who constitute large percentage in the system, you're going to be investing in large percentage of the system. And so in our mind, if we rather do this thing, it means we are ready to actually combat or to make it look like the way our other colleagues, our other countries around the country look like. So I mean that just to add to what they are saying, you need investment in these people. You need investment in nurses. So since we don't have that amount to send everybody out of the country, we can like, okay, let's change the let's repeal it. Let's see as to how nurses can become psychiatric nurses can be in Liberia, GI in Liberia, gynecology in Liberia, cardiologists in Liberia. If I emergency nursing, like where you got the ICU, the intensive care unit, these people in Liberia, if you train them here, the money to train these people here will be far smaller than sending even 2-3 person all of this country. I think that would be better.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. But I'm going to go back to the doc, she'll answer, and then you guys can come in. There is this thing in Liberia, and I'm speaking to this. I'm not making a full conclusion where everybody understands this. It seems everybody in the medical field wants to set up a pharmacy or a clinic or their own personal hospital. What is the rationale behind this, if it is true at all?
Thank you, Mr. Dwala. Once again, you never fail to ask interesting and thought-provoking questions. This is my views, and I haven't done any research on it, but we have to remember that during the war, there was a breakdown in the health system. There weren't enough doctors and facilities, and the closest place where people could access care was the drugstores, your pharmacies. So by default, the local pharmacies and drugstores became a point of care, a point where people could access care. They could, they could get treated. The laboratories were not open or were not accessible, so they would go and explain their problems, and they were able to get treatment. And remember, there was lack of monitoring. The various boards were not, if they were in existence, they were not active. They couldn't go around manning. So I think it was a breakdown in the system that allowed these proliferation of these unauthorized, unregulated drugstores. But I just want to use this opportunity to touch on Brother Fire and Brother Swami have touched on Liberia College of Physicians and Surgeons being renamed and incorporating other cadre of staff. I'm the first vice president of the Liberia College of Physicians and Surgeons, so I am authorized to speak on that. But I would like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to the president, Dr. John Moba, and also our second vice president, Dr. Peter Coleman. Liberia College of Physicians and Surgeons is a body, is an institution that is for the training of specialists, and by that, medical specialists. Liberia is not an island. We find ourselves in the ECOWAS sub-region, and as such, we have aligned with the sub-region. So they have WAHU, and you have colleges. So Nigeria has their postgraduate medical college, Ghana has the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons, Sierra Leone, Gambia, etc., etc. You also have the West African Colleges of Physicians and Surgeons, and you also have the West African Postgraduate Colleges of Nurses and Pharmacists. So you don't have to change the Liberia College of Physicians and Surgeons. What gave birth to the Liberia College of Physicians and Surgeons is the West African colleges encouraged us. So you have sub-regional colleges that can help Liberia to develop the College of Nursing. And we have the West African colleges of pharmacy and nursing that are represented in Liberia. That could be another show. So you don't have to put them under the Liberia College. We need to go back on the drawing board and see how we can have our other colleges being represented here. And I think the West African College of Nursing and Pharmacy are working on that. So we can talk on that another, but just to clarify that the Liberia College of Physicians and Surgeons, that's not the rule. It was established by an act in 2013, a specific mandate to train doctors to be specialists and also accredit hospitals, give exams, and but you have the pharmacy college, you have the nursing college, and that's in line with the sub-region. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes, and again, this is Liberia, and so whatever the nomenclature will be, we are just highlighting the need for training. Whatever the nomenclature, we just highlighting the need for training, investing in male clinician, male health clinician, who are shouldering large percentage of the health burden. I think you can bear that with me. And also, we were also thinking that to everywhere you have a doctor, you should have a nurse, and so it makes the work so burdensome, so cumbersome for the doctor. I want to believe, if you just want to have a lone neurologist who comes and do the work, and then there is no nurse with insight in neurology to see how they can care for this patient. In my mind, up count becomes a little bit questionable, or how effective that service is, in my mind, is a little bit challenging. So that is the reason why if we want to ensure that we have a quality healthcare service, so that means we're going to be investing in male health workers also as well. That's just some of the issue. And the issue you spoke to on people having health facilities or some of these, these countries, if you divide, if you see the ratio of a nurse to patient, because let's assume we are around 5 million, assuming, and then we have 13,312 nurses. All of these people, if you just divide it, you're going to be having 374 point something patient to a nurse, which is even still higher. Because if you look at the ICM will give the ratio depending on where you're working. I think the higher ratio should be around 7 or 11. So in Liberia, we got so many nurses outside who are graduated, had the permission to practice in Liberia, but they are not employed. So therefore, that could be some of our next talking point. You got huge volunteers, you have large percentage of nurses who are not employed. They went to school, they have graduated, they have sat the stable, got their license to practice in Liberia, but they're nowhere to practice. So since I don't have anywhere to employ, to be employed, I maybe take one room in my house or one shop, or one, maybe as I building my house, I don't have money to buy a car now. I take a garage to turn it into pharmacy. And behind here, I got one room lying down there. And so in this thing, guys, if you actually see yourself being employed, you go to what you won't have already come. You never think about, and you buy employed and well paid. You may not be all the same. Let me go one table to my house to do delivery. Let me do the one. But I think all of these things, I'm not doing research, but I think probably a lot boils down to having large proportion of the nurses being unemployed, right? So when they are not employed, they got license to practice. Of course, you can't stop them from practicing. So that's the problem we have.
I understand your position, and I'm not countering what you're saying. And as the doctor spoke about, after the war, people went to these places. But I think we should be evolving almost 40 years, or over 30 years since the war. We're still doing things in a way, because some of these clinics are not properly regulated. The pharmacies are not adequately regulated. Anybody can set it up anywhere. I see people circumcising little boys anywhere. I mean, it is unhealthy. Now, I understand the condition of the country. I get it, and I understand it. But it's the regulatory arm doing their job to the extent that they are protecting Liberian citizens. I know it's a gradual process and it takes time, but are we doing it efficiently or quickly enough to kind of stop this proliferation of clinics everywhere unregulated?
So let me say that when you come to clinic, proliferation of clinic, let's take a look of the regulatory by the LMDC. That is one of our statutory mandate. So LMDC is supposed to regulate all clinic, but LMDC should be supported by government. So up to today's date, LMDC have no functional vehicle. If you are called right now to go and see malpractices, I did in New Jersey, you need a rail motorbike to go and regulate, or a private car to go and regulate. So that you as a regulator, you become vulnerable. So if the regulatory bodies are funded or partners are looking, because we are the referee and we are even referring the government. So apparently the government doing that knowingly because they don't want to raise the red flag of the services, or maybe the private sector is also don't want us to evaluate some of the medical services that partners are rendering. So maybe that could be some kind of game being played somewhere. But what I can tell you is we have the capacity to regulate, but the logistical challenges are one thing. Malpractices in Liberia here, there is no excuse for them. What I can tell you is because there is no funding to help LMDC do their work, but we have the capacity. We got clinic regulatory guidelines right now. So a pharmacist should not be able to give injection. You should not treat patient there. You only there to in fact dispense medicine based on prescription.
Correct.
That should be your rule.
Correct.
But you found drugs that are not even to be over the counter. They have been selling them, and there were multi-sectoral approach coming. For example, LMHRI will come in, pharmacy will come in, LMDC will come in. But all in terms of medical practice, LMDC is the one that takes the giant share of that. LMDC can tell you this structure it don't work to be a clinic. They don't work to be a health center. They don't work to be a hospital. You as a doctor, what we expect currently in Liberia is the issue of getting rid of conflict of interest. If you are working in government facility, obviously it should be prevented to some level working into your private facility.
Correct.
Because mind you, we can sometimes, like what we do, we smuggle patients that will feel like they can pay for their services, smuggle them to our private facilities, and in some instances, those patients tend to be critical and they have to send them back again to government facility. All the things are issues that are training in our healthcare center. We are seeing that they are documented issues and complaints. But healthcare worker will not like to be regulated. Therefore, we depend on government to fund that entity with moving object, with documentation, with finances. Even, for example, you want to investigate a case, somebody bring a complaint to you, and then you want to run MOH card to go and investigate. In case the malpractice is occurring at MOH facility, you have to compromise because you know the person that you want to arrest. So obviously you don't have no more to talk. So these are issues that are also confronting that sector. But how be it for tonight? I want to throw a little light regarding physician assistant challenges in Liberia. Physician assistants are more than willing to do the work. But take a survey. When you go now in Foya Boma Hospital, you'll see a PA in the ER. I was just in Bomi today, going there to make sure that the right things are done in the facilities. But you find out that the PA are demotivated. And some of them are voluntary. You got 326 PA on payroll, and you got 1,600 PA in Liberia. The rest of them are voluntary. Some of them are working for a little or nothing. So that kind of display aggression is what we are trending onto our patients, which we know that it is not right. But again, government need to also do their part. In Liberia, there is no classified pay grade when it comes to pay physician assistant in Liberia. But on the other hand, we mount pressure on government, the outgoing government, the former government, we mount pressure on them, and that is how they were able to sit with us to do this document. You see this document, you can display it. We call this pay and salary classification for healthcare workers in Liberia. So on this document, you have category of PA with salary on it. And we agree on this document that at least 70% of this document, what it projected, it should be paid this year, which is January, meaning that when the budget should have passed. But unfortunately for budget have not passed. And we are not hearing anything about it. But health workers are not happy, more than any happy to see the document be implemented. What we were lucky to have gotten is we were able to smartly get the outgoing government budget. When they posted it on Ministry of Finance or website, we download it and we have the budget code there. This is the budget code that captures our interest and we therefore memorize it. It says 265518 budget code 265518. Under there you have money for hiring, intervention, and salary administration exercise. 5 million paid there. In that 5 million, there are money there to employ volunteers. And there are money there to adjust our salary to the 70% that we agree on. For example, physician assistant with diploma will earn 550. And the 550 is going to be done incrementally over 3 years. And the first year, we're taking 70% of that 550. Physician assistant with BSc will earn $750. $750. And the $750, 70% will be paid in 2024. So assuming that the 5 million is protected by the honorable legislature or the honorable minister of finance, it means that that money is going to be implemented and making us happy. So we cannot wait. And even today when I went for me, the health center are there, all of them asking, Prezo, the salary policy, how far are we? Where are we? What you are telling? These are things that we want policy makers to listen to tonight. And the bigger issue surrounding that is, let me be a little bit different from this.
So let's come in smart, Theophilus. Let's take a break small because I know you got a lot of stuff you are explaining. It's good to have you. Allow us. I mean, sorry that I came late to ask you some question. I believe my brother Dwalu and Dr. Richardson seriously engaged you folks. You came with your 14,000 pages to discuss tonight. 14,000. So I think it's okay. But it's not you, Benjamin. It's just a physician assistant part. The man just he connecting, no break, and because he want Liberia to get everything. I have a question for you though. Yeah, helping out. Sorry that our sister, Dr. Kamano, went off.
She's here.
Who should? Yeah, she will come. Who should run the hospital? The hospital. It should be run by an administrator, non-doctoral degree, or it should be run by the medical director. And the medical director should have a doctoral degree.
Good evening, CEO.
Oh,
welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you came with your cola and your pepper. Eh?
So what you what do you mean to do with the
but I just try to ask a question that our followers are asking question. So we just want to understand, because you have corporate hospital, right? The JFK, 14 military, Jackson F. Doe, and which one in Bon County? Phoebe, and other hospital. My question is so simple. Liberians, the Liberian want to know who should run the hospital. Who should be the head?
CEO, that's the $1 million question. And I can only contribute, but I would like to say I don't have the answer. So I have my own thoughts, and I'm not the expert. So the health system is dynamic. It's a system. We can liken it to the army, where we have ranks and we have function. I can liken it to the body, where we have the head and we have the other body parts. But I also like to take you on a cruise. I like to use the analogy of an airplane. And in the airplane, you have the pilot, you have the passengers, you have the air hostess. So work with me. The airplane is the hospital, the passengers are the patients, and you have the cabin crew. So you have the air hostesses. That could be your middle level, your nurses, your PAs, your midwives, and you have the pilot. And normally in the health sector, the pilot is a doctor. You go in the OR, the surgeon is the head of the team. You have a scrub nurse, you have a circulating nurse, you have the nurse anesthetist, and you have the anesthesiologist. In the clinic, you have the doctor, you have the nurse, etc. So what would you want for a pilot? When we book our flights, our most concern is that we arrive safely. Our patient's concern is that when they access care, that they should get to where they should get to their desired destination in one piece and unharmed with all their belongings. And your concern of a pilot, it should be someone that is qualified and someone that is skilled, someone that is experienced. You don't want, you don't want someone that looks like a pilot and talks like a pilot, but is not a pilot. You also don't want someone that is not sober or not of sound mind. Because if you have a pilot that can take in and get high, that would be a disaster. Yes, there are more cabin crew and they spend more time with the passengers, and they're probably nicer people than the pilot. But would you want a cabin crew piloting, taking the plane? So in the health sector, we have rules, and we need to respect those rules. If we feel that we can,
and I understand that. I know you want to be, and I know you want to be diplomatic tonight, and I respect that. But let's just help Liberians understand, Mr. Duadu. Folks are watching the show. They really appreciate the fact that you guys are on. We just want to understand from a hospital, certain, for example, John F. Kennedy Hospital, 14 Medicare. Which one of the hospital, Mr. Duadu? Maybe you will help ask this question correctly. Maybe I came too strong. That's why they call for the big gun, Dr. Sacamano. But let me ask you though, Mr. Duadu, please. Medical director for a hospital at that level, shouldn't that person be a medical practitioner to
First
run
of
the
all, let's just
hospital?
say this. Doctors are not trained to manage hospitals. Doctors are trained to go and take care of patients. I don't believe any doctor should be running a hospital. They're not organizational specialists. They don't understand. You put me, if you tell me to go perform a surgery, the person will die. I know nothing about the medical field. But if you gave me finances of JFK and you want me to organize JFK better, I would do a superb job because this is what I specialize in.
Administrator, though.
Yes, I'm an administrator. So
But,
I think
I beg you, Dwadu, I beg you, I like how you go over with this, Dwadu. Let me hold you because you're still on the show for 1 hour 35 minutes. You enjoy yourself.
You come, you lady won't blame her.
No. I'm blaming you. Let's work on Gibson. As an administrator, Dwadu can come in with an administrative skill.
Yeah.
And he will do a fantastic job because he will make sure everything is on course.
Okay.
But medical doctor across the country, Liberia, has always been a medical director has always been occupied by medical doctor. Am I right, Dr. Kamano?
Yes, so that's during the war, because of the lack of doctors, there were some positions. Medical directors are occupied by doctors, but there were other positions like county health officer.
No, I'm just thinking of medical. That is the reason I'm asking.
So,
medical director should be occupied by medical doctor.
Medical doctors, yes.
So there will be no way we change that. Our medical director position should be given to someone who are not a medical practitioner, correct?
Yeah. So if there's none, if there are no doctors, so if there are no doctors, so in the case of Liberia during the war, where there were no doctors, the next most qualified person was allowed to act in that position. So to go back, I just want to touch into what Mr. Douala said. You see, we do lean towards the American system, but we find ourselves in this sub-region. In Africa, there's a different experience. You go to hospitals in Nigeria and Ghana, they are headed by doctors. And I'd like to emphatically disagree with you. Doctors can't be administrators. In the army, you have engineers.
No, sister, I beg you. I know you quit to disagree with me.
So we need to get something clear, Stanton.
Well, I beg you, Benjamin, I beg you. Let her understand this. Because my sister will always disagree with me. I'm not saying that doctor shouldn't run the hospital, because doctor will come in with administrative experience and administrative credential. What I'm saying, let's flip it the other way around. Should an administrator run the hospital in the medical director role? That's all I'm saying. Can we just be clear on it?
Okay.
So the medical director, we obviously our hospitals have organogram, and in no way all of our hospital medical directors have been medical doctors currently, as I speak, except the contrary counts. But all of our hospitals in Liberia, for my knowledge, the medical director. But you got medical director. After medical director, you got administrator, and you got nursing health services director as they come down. So medical directors have been, and it is the article the head for our hospitals. But on the organogram, medical director is the head, but then you have administrator, because we are of the conviction, like Douala said, we are not, unlike the training encompasses administrators' ideas. We actually see the hospital or the finances in the other aspect of the hospital being run by an administrator. So I don't think in my mind we will sit here and say, okay, the medical director for the hospital is going to be the nurse or PA or lab technician. I don't think that is what we're preaching here. On our organogram, the medical director that run the medical services, that is actually a head of the medical services in the hospital, is a medical doctor. And I don't think we have come to dispute that.
So I want to be very short to this point in the first place. The hospital got different departments. And then in the first department, because the goal of building the hospital is to provide medical services. So you have medical director. All clinical staff fall under the medical director. When it comes to hospital administrator can be anybody that have medical knowledge and that of administrative knowledge as well, which is an asset. But if you have administrative knowledge, because you got public administration. So if you have public administration background, of course, you also stand a better chances of becoming a hospital administrator. So the issue of the health sector, for example, we got administrative, we got medical, we got preventive. And that's why I brought the argument the last time, health is different from nursing. When you study health, you are targeting the global population. When you study nursing, you are targeting an individual patient that appeared before you. So therefore, the issue of medical services, the doctor becomes the head in that sector. But the issue of administration, that which they have to do with purely different area from that of the medical doctor area. So that's it.
Senator, can
Yes,
I
sir.
30 seconds,
Yes, sir.
please?
Yes, sir, please.
A medical doctor is not typically trained to run an organization. People can disagree all they want, but this is a fact. A person who studies economics is not typically trained to perform a surgery. Yes, a medical doctor can run a hospital, but he would not run it efficiently because he's not an expert at running the hospital. He's an expert at taking care of patients. Now, I think we are usurping functions here. This is what we do in Liberia, many instances where if a person is a doctor, we believe they can become a folk doctor, they're a brain surgeon, we believe they can take care of heart, they can do everything. No, yeah, they may be a generalist, but they're not a neurosurgeon or the orthopedic surgeon, they're not a chiropractor, they're not this. We just lump everything into one, and it breaks down the system. Over the last 60 years, JFK has not been running properly because we keep putting doctors to run something that they don't know how to do. Doctors take care of patients. Let administrators run the hospital. That's my take.
And I wanted to add, if I have like
research, let's look at what's happening at the teaching hospitals. You know, we talked about different hospitals. So you talked about the military hospital. You will not find non-military people running the military hospital. You know, they have so the military hospital, they have majors, and I want to give a salute to Major Alberta Clark Colley. She's a specialist Liberia first female surgeon, and she's running the 14 military hospital, and she's a major. So in that setting, you can't just take anyone. They have their own system. JFK is a teaching hospital. It's not just any hospital. It's a teaching hospital. Then it's the teaching hospital of Liberia, of the University of Liberia. As such, the responsibility of JFK is not just patient care. We have responsibility of research. We have responsibility of outreach, training. So you need to have someone. You see, the head of the hospital, this organogram of JFK is that you have a CEO and you have two deputies. So the CEO is supposed to oversee his two deputies, a deputy for administration and deputy for health. If you're supposed to supervise and oversee someone, and pray tell me you're not privileged to understand their role and their function, how will you supervise the role of the in terms of providing healthcare, research? And like I said, look at other hospitals. We don't have to go far. Go Ghana, go Nigeria. What is the structure? Because we're in a sub-region, and I keep telling you, folks in the diaspora, with JFK as a teaching hospital, look at the teaching hospitals in a sub-region. They have hospital administrators, yes, but their hospitals are headed by doctors, and the highest. You have doctors are specialists, they're also PhD. We're talking about PhD and doctors, because when a professor comes into the hospital, he meets a doctor, he salutes a doctor. You cannot have doctor greeting Mr. and Mrs. It's a rank, it's respect. So a teaching hospital is not like any ordinary hospital. So we have Redemption has administrators, but the structure of the teaching hospital is like the university. You have rank, you have dean, you have a vice president. There's a rank associated. For example, the CMO is an associate dean of the university. So we have to look at all those issues. It's not just providing patient care. So you're also teaching. So if you're relating to the university, how can your rank be out of keeping? So, you know, you have a role also at the university. So you have to be on par with the deans and the vice presidents, etc. So please, let's look at everything is, you know, there's no right and wrong answer, but we're saying where we find ourselves at a teaching hospital in the sub-region, this is the pattern that is followed, because you also have the responsibility. You're going to have a non-PhD or doctor representing, you know, at the university level, where you're sitting with professors and deans, and then you have someone who's an administrator who has no idea about training, you know, or has no idea about research. It will be, you'll have what you will need. You have to depend a lot on how do you supervise people when you don't know anything about that, you know? So you have to have an idea. So it's not just keeping the lights on. You know, the hospital, teaching hospital is not a hotel or a restaurant. It's not just about putting the lights on and putting the lights off and providing, you know, supply. If we're not providing the services and getting the right results, and if you don't understand what, you know, when you go through the ranks, I've been a doctor for 20 years. You know, you go through, you start as an intern, you start as a resident, you go as a consultant. You can acquire skills through experience, and you can acquire skills through learning. I mean, through going through school. So if you bring someone who has a 2-year degree in administration, and you have a seasoned professor or a consultant who has served 20 years, you can tell me, say that person with their degree is more. So it depends on what we have and the caliber of people we have, and who will be best suited in terms of experience. So just coming with your degree as a hospital administrator and with no experience, and then we say, we're going to put you over the teaching hospital, is a recipe for disaster. Those are just my views, and I stand by them.
Yes, yeah, quick question. If you have somebody who run a Fortune 500 company before, and you have a doctor who's served 30 years as a medical doctor, who would you prefer to run your organization?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
So, like I said, the hospital is not just a business. If you go to a restaurant, let me just say this: if you go to a restaurant and it's clean, and the staff the customer service is good, the environment is clean, and yet you don't have, the only thing you ask for, everything on the menu is not there, and they only give you water. Yeah, it's a great environment. But what the services you need are not available. So you have to have an understanding. You know, I think I think I would need that person as an administrator, deputy administrator, that will be able to inform the CEO. You know, you need that person as your planning. You need that person as your CFO.
You're not just taking anybody who's going to run the hospital. It's somebody who understands the medical sciences. Look, you don't have to be a medical doctor to understand the medical sciences. The specialty is there. I understand what you're saying about intricacy. Look, I was a United States Marine. I understand the military as well. But I will tell you this. The hospitals are being run by soldiers or Marines. They are specialists in their field. They're not just doctors. So they have organizational skills as well. They have organizational degrees. They may have PhD. They may have a medical degree on the side. So they are not just administrators, even though they're doctors. So they're dual roles. I understand that. My focus is to run an organization. The focus has to be a person that understands the intricacies of the organization. I get it. But when medical doctors focus entirely, their training, it's everything, is patient care. How are they going to run this hospital?
You're mistaken. Doctors are also managers. To manage a unit, to even in private practice, to manage a practice, doctors do learn managerial skills. So it may not be, some have been able to get the MPH simultaneously.
Right.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that your understanding of the roles of doctors is misguided. And I'll go to the legal sector. You'll not just get anybody as a Minister of Justice or Dean of the Louis Grimes School of Law just because they are a professor. You'll not take a English professor, you know, and put him at the law school because he's a professor of English.
Correct.
The lawyers will kick against that. They'll want one of their own that understand the issue. So the challenge now for doctors is we need to acquire extra skills and we need to be certificated for it, you know. But hands down, experience. There's nothing like experience, you know. And like I said, the time it takes us to progress, it teaches us managerial skills. I'm not only just a doctor, I'm a lecturer, I'm a professor. I have to teach. There are skills that you acquire during the process. So I challenge anybody to come with a 2-year degree and feel that they can just run JFK like that. Good luck.
I'm not talking about a 2-year degree. I'm
luck.
talking about a person with a PhD in organization.
So let's bring in Gibson. Dr. Richardson, you want to say something? Because I think we maxing the 2 hours. We got a few more seconds left. Yeah. Dr. Richardson, you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say that maybe it would be helpful for us to restructure the way how hospitals are managed in Liberia. Perhaps there should be a patient care that is managed by a doctor, and then there's administrative practice that is managed by an administrator. I believe those two things can work hand in hand. I don't see that as two isolated areas. So I think it worked best because a doctor may be primarily, in the key word here is primarily concerned about patient care, while the administrator may be concerned about the function of the hospital, the billing issues, the medical issues, the financial issues, the way how things are ran in the hospital. So that's kind of hard saying. Maybe we need to revisit that. I think it's only good to be open-minded about that because we have to look at where the world is going now. We can't stay with our old structure sometimes in order for us to run well in a and I think an administrator would definitely understand the need to connect, like we started off this conversation with connecting to nurses in this area, nurses outside of Liberia, in order to bring in skills into our country that seem to have struggles with skillful healthcare workers. We talked about even just some telehealth, that's where the world is going that's where the world is going now. There's a telehealth. It doesn't mean that we have to do Zoom meetings all the time, but just kind of having some guidelines about who do you establish connection to, who do you work with when it comes to telehealth? How do you send patients information through text messages, through Zoom? What kind of information is appropriate to send? What platform? How do you connect with universities around the world? Like, for example, like psychology organizations that want to provide telehealth to Liberia. Make sure that people are not just saying that the psychologists and they don't have the credentials to support that, or make sure organizations are not fake. So those are the kind of things that I'm looking at. I think having a separation between a manager and administrator would be more inclined to do that kind of work, while the patient more inclined to look at the patient-doctor relationship. Yes, there are times that we have doctors that have both skills. I don't want to deny that. You may be one of them, Dr. Kamano. You may have both skills, and that's great. That would be the perfect person for that job.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that bring in Gibson. Gibson, Jerry, you want to say something?
I'm kind of liking Dr. Kamano's argument. I agree 100% with the fact that people who want to be head in certain professional organizations, they must have superior knowledge to be able to correct their subordinates. And when Dwalo was speaking, I was thinking about the media area. For example, the CNN is owned by Ted Turner, who is not a journalist. Fox News is owned by Mado, who is not a journalist. Major media institutions around the world are owned by non-journalists, but news editors of those institutions cannot be anybody else but a journalist who understand the art. Because before you advise a reporter, before you tell a reporter that he's wrong, you must have superior knowledge. In the medical field, and the law field, they are very jealous fields. I would call them jealous field. They like their own. They like to relate to their own. I can't see a law firm that is headed by a non-lawyer. I never see that kind of thing before. And all of the medical directors at the JFK that I have known, they have been medical doctors. I've never seen it happen, I don't know, but I've never seen a JFK medical director or medical administrator being an ordinary person with just a degree. They are all been medical doctor. However, if Dwalu's argument must hold, then it must be on a different peripheral, because if we have a structure at JFK where you have the CEO, as she said, and you have like 2 or 3 directors who are specified, like director of clinical, director of this, director of that. These are people who are the technicians that can run the hospital, and the manager or the director or our director will just be for the supply of managerial skills, supply of materials and stuff like that. Then maybe it can work. But I think that Richardson made a great point. We need to change the paradigm. We have to have the paradigm shift. We cannot continue to do something. We cannot have our hospitals manned by people who cannot tell a doctor that he's wrong. If that commander made a mistake today, how can you tell her that she's wrong when you don't even have an idea of what she's doing? If you call a meeting, senior staff meeting, what are you going to be telling them? You're going to be telling them about management? You're going to be telling them about how you bought more tissues or more paper towels? You're going to be discussing the professional ethics. You're going to be discussing errors and successes. How do you discuss them without the superior knowledge? Even if you are not the most superior person, but you have to have that knowledge. And there
No,
where
Gibson, you don't have to have knowledge of medical science to run an organization. That's not true.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. You know of any example? I don't know any hospital in America that don't have a medical doctor as a.
You don't have to be a doctor, my man, to run a. Most hospitals around the world.
Do you have an example in America? Say you live here. Do you have an example?
Research. Let's do the research on the teaching hospitals. We're not talking about private hospitals. Let's do the research on teaching hospitals.
The state you live in, Gibson, you live in what? Arizona or North Dakota? Go to all the hospitals there and see if they're run by doctors. They're not run by doctors.
The CEO for the Stanford is a medical doctor.
And what else? What else does he hold? An MPH?
Yeah.
Does he hold PhD in organizational management or run other organizations before?
Okay.
Most doctors don't run organizations. They take care of patients.
So there are two things. There are two issues here. There are two issues here. There are two thoughts. Should hospitals be run by doctors? And is being a doctor enough to run a hospital? So those are the two questions. So yes, hospitals can be run by doctors, but we agree that you need extra skills and extra training. It's not enough to just be a doctor to be a hospital. And that I think we can agree that. Yeah. But I want to say, why is it that most countries have doctors administer health?
Dr. Kamano, yes. let me tell my brother here. Dr. Todd Shopford, medical doctor, president and CEO of Stanford in Bismarck. The man is a surgeon. He is a surgeon. He is one of the state leading surgeons. So you can do the research. I don't know of an example where a hospital, even the schools now are taking people who are more experienced in education now than just ordinary. But it's the hospital I'm talking about here, the man who managed Todd, he is a surgeon, one of the biggest surgeons in North Dakota. He is the head president and CEO.
Yeah, stop flagging this stuff. I don't know who playing with the system.
Yeah.
Don't flag this stuff, please.
So, I mean, if you have an example where you can say, okay, this big hospital like this St. Joseph Hospital in Minnesota, or maybe one of the biggest hospitals in the East Coast, say the man who is the president, he's just a degree holder in maybe psychology.
Just a degree holder. This is where we're missing the point. It's not just about degrees, okay? It's a specialty he holds. Okay, it's not just about degrees. Look, if a person performs a surgical procedure, I don't have to understand neuroscience to run the hospital. The point I'm trying to make is, you want me to understand the nitty-gritty about medical science to run the hospital? No, you do not. The hospital is an organization. I want you to keep thinking of the hospital, not as a person, it's an organization. Doctors go to school to take care of patients. They don't go to school to be running hospitals. It is the point I'm trying to make. And we are usurping functions here.
So let's bring in Jackie. Jackie, thank you for joining us while we wind down on the medical professional year, the nurse practitioner, the nurses, the 23 years experience, Dr. Siawata Kamano. We want to say thank you for joining us this evening. The conversation continues, but we're about to move on. You have anything to add, Jackie? Oh, Jackie have some internet problem. Dr. Siawata Kamano, my brother Theophilus T. Fayai, Benjamin O. Swami.
Can you give me 30 seconds before you go?
Yes, sir.
Can you give me 30 seconds? I thought to give that as an example. Putting square pegs, not complete square pegs in round holes. We talk about somebody who is just an ordinary nurse, RN, and you are serving in a position where you are going to give directive to people who are superior. Like in the case of the health ministry, the lady who was appointed, who came as a second appointee or nominee from the executive mansion when Doc Cooper was appointed already as a director in a administrative position, who has served in that position twice. But then somebody brought her and appointed her or influenced her appointment at the health ministry to serve as deputy for administration. When she's just an ordinary nurse, she's not even your MP. How can you, an ordinary nurse, serve in that position when she has not even served in a leadership position before? And the fingers have been pointed by Prim Moy, and Prim Moy is influencing the president's appointments. President appoints somebody, then he go and influence it, and the press secretary had a press conference yesterday and clarified that the appointment of Doc Cooper stand, but now there's no confirmation because Prim Moy's interest is there to be taken care of. So those are some of the things we're talking
But
about.
that's the politics. I don't want us to get into what we have.
Yeah,
I don't
I know,
want
but I'm
to
just giving an
mix
example
people.
of people serving.
I agree with you, but I don't want to mix them on because they are
Yeah.
not political folks. So let's just ask them.
Oh, immediately,
when
yeah,
they
I
leave.
know, right?
Yeah, when they leave, then we'll discuss it. Madam Jackie, are you hearing us? Are you on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, you good, Jackie. Are you following through with the conversation? What's your take? Before the doctors and nurses gave us the important statement.
I missed most of the conversation because I wasn't on, but I caught the part where I think you asked who is fit to head a hospital, and I heard Dwalu's opinion, and partly heard Dr. Kamano's feedback on that. But personally, for me, whether it is a doctor or an administrative, the thing about it is when you look at healthcare service delivery, you have to look at it from a business perspective. If you're running a hospital, you have to look at it from a business perspective. That business is selling a product. Now you have to know about the product. That's healthcare service delivery. But at the same time, if you're going to head a hospital, you have to also have the qualifications of an administrator if you are in the medical field. And likewise, somebody who is an administrator, if you're going to head a hospital, you must understand that product that you're going to be selling at that healthcare facility. But more importantly, you must be an administrator. There is no way a doctor, a medical practitioner can run a hospital or a healthcare facility and does not understand some of the administrative functions, especially those main core functions that come along with it, because you are selling a product, and that is healthcare service delivery. So that's my opinion on that. And I think a lot of times, sometimes we get it wrong. A doctor is heading, but they don't understand these mechanisms and these functions. And that's why sometimes a hospital or a healthcare facility is not being run properly, because they don't understand the core administrative functions that they're supposed to be overseeing. And that is very, very important.
Jackie Mackey, I think you are making my point. You clarify my question to Dr. Kamano, because two things happening. It can either be in the reverse. Should a medical doctor oversee a medical or role, for example, medical director? Or should a non-medical doctor oversee that medical director role? But once you say medical director, the person ought to have a medical doctor degree. And that's my argument. Because what we are hearing, that a non-medical doctor will be overseeing one of the hospital role as a medical director. Why not that person just serve as an administrator? And that was my question to Dr. Kamano and her guys. And again, I think you said it right, but we'll wait to see whether that announcement will come out on this government. I don't know which hospital, but folks are texting. They are, on our feed saying, I think it will be wrong. And Dr. Kamano, while you close, please clarify if I am wrong, or those people that are asking the question, if they are wrong. Medical director should be a medical doctor, or either or, whether an administrator without a medical doctor degree can serve in that position.
Okay, CEO, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Sis Jackie, for your input. And thank you, Dwala, he's left, for the discussion, for the healthy exchange. I still stand by my conviction. It depends on the role of the hospital. Like we have the example of the military hospital. You have specialized hospitals. So I don't think there's a one fit answer for everything. And also based on what you have available. So do we have my best preference would be an experienced medical doctor with administration, with a degree in administration and experience. So there are several things I will look at: the experience, the degree, and the underline, and their background. Whether there's also a PhD. So there are preferences. So you can also accept a PhD. In the absence of a doctor, without administration, without public health, And there are other cadre of staff available that have PhD, that have business administration. But you see, it depends on the hospital. For a teaching hospital, I keep going back. You're raising specialists. You're dealing with professors. So I put a high demand on that. You take the most qualified, the most senior person. But I'm saying that this conversation, I think in Liberia, we have to customize. We have to find solutions that fit and work for our setting. And so we can take experience from the diaspora, from the sub-region, and have a dialogue and come up with what is best for us. There's no one fit. I did a disclaimer. My views are my own personal views, and I stand to be corrected. I take correction from the public. I see a lot of people agreeing and disagreeing, and I'll read through it and take time to comment on some of them. But I just want us to remember. I just want to say, as doctors, we are the head of the health sector. You go up, you go down. I gave you the examples of the OR. And I think what has happened is we need to borrow from my colleague, the head of nursing, Mr. Swami. He said we need to get back the respect of our colleagues, of the nurses, the PAs, the pharmacists, because as the head, we have failed to play that big brother role. And so what we have caused, our colleagues feel the need, the only way they will be heard and their issues will be addressed if they are in the driving seat. And so I think as doctors, we have fought for our career professional development. We have fought for our remuneration and salary increment, and we need to stand. We need to stand along with our brothers and sisters, and also fight for their professional development. Make sure that we have specialized nurses, PAs, etc. And I want to apologize to the head of the Pharmaceutical Association, Dr. Famwile. She was on standby. And she really wanted to be on the show, but we're working on something, and hopefully we can come again, and I hope she can be in person. So sorry to the pharmacist. It was no injury or hurt intended. We just got carried away. We didn't get to call you, but I think we need to get back to playing that role. And there's a reason why we have a structure and order. The army has it in the family. There's a head of the family. Traditional families, we know we have different types of family. And I think even if the mother and the children in the home decide to vote and they come up with their own rules and they decide from now on they will be calling the shots, that will cause some challenges. So there's order, there's a reason why. If the man in the home is providing and caring for his family, there will be no need for the woman to challenge or to feel that she needs to usurp his authority. And it's the same thing as leaders in the health sector. If we don't fulfill our role, our colleagues will feel the need to fulfill those roles. So we have to up our game. When much is given, much is required. You don't have nurses and PAs and pharmacists being sued. A lot of the medical legal issues falls on the head of the doctor. Why? Because you are the head. So it's not all glam and glory. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a doctor, but it is not something for us to use against our colleagues.
Can I ask a question? I know you are closing. Can I beg you? We almost done, and I will ask you, or any one of you can answer. Let's be serious. We beat on. That's my own Oma, by the way. That the former health minister, Wilhelmina Jala. She had a clinic, and the issue that she had her own private clinic, she came to run the hospital. She moving medication to her clinic and asking people to go to her clinic. Whether true or so, most politics work one way or the other, and we beat on her. We heard that Dr. Poto have her own clinic too, somewhere in Central Monrovia. You think this is a problem for our health system? Those individuals being appointed, having their own clinic, running their own hospital, and yet and still managing the government entity or ministry. Is it of concern to any of you guys?
Let me let my colleagues answer that one. I've been talking plenty.
She just pleaded faith. Benjamin, to your feelings?
The way and pleasure of the president And
she won't be the first to hit the nail on the hill.
the permanent positions are at the will and pleasure of the president. So what we do understand is the president, in his own wisdom, have the
We know all of that, Theophilo. Don't lecture us on that. I'm asking you as a practitioner, do you think it's right? From where you sit, do you think it's a proper thing to do that the ministers that will come into power, the administrator and all the folks that working at JFK, yet and still they have their own practice out there, private practice?
Okay.
Is that
So
a conflict?
let me just speak to
Dr.
that.
Kamano, can we skip you for last on this one?
Okay.
Let hold Benjamin and Theophilo a little bit because they're running a group. And, people are looking up to them. They want your sincere answer. Theophilo, you think it's a problem? Is it a conflict?
Yeah, I think it's a problem actually in the actual sense. It's a problem when you having two masters to serve. Sometimes you find it difficult which one to serve the best. But on the other hand, I attended a confirmation of, for example, the both ministers, the past minister and the current minister. I attended a confirmation, and some senators are very key in that direction. And the current minister was clear to tell them that he have relinquished whatever position that she had there, and to that of her husband. In fact, before getting married to a man, if the husband had a clinic before she came on board, so she's not the original owner of that clinic, but by virtue of marriage, they have to share things in common. But she will focus 100% on the public work and forget about that private clinic. So I think that satisfies the senators that will let them to confirm me all.
Okay, though. Benjamin, you want to say something?
Where's Benjamin? Benjamin still there?
Benjamin, you want to say something, sir?
No, not that I wanted to say. I want to say a lot of things, of course, not concerning medical doctor being the head, because
to my
that is
question,
already need to rest because
to my question, Benjamin.
They can't answer the question because they want to hold their own clinic too. So how do they say no? Because when they say no, then in the future they have their own clinic. No, I mean, for me, I like to just say things the way they are. That's why people don't like me.
It's the spoon talk. We gotta be fair. We can't let you guys come into all these sweet things.
You guys want to hold your own
conflict. I'm not talking about Dr. Koto because I somehow related to Dr. Koto. I'm hearing that. I'm not talking about her. Well, I want to be fair over here, right? Because Dr. Koto, that's my country. Get on the other end. But guys, please, let's start putting these things down up. Somebody is touching the mouse. I'm saying to you, Benjamin, seriously speaking, do you see it as a conflict? Every prep job we did the same thing. Now, President Boyka appointed somebody that running a whole big clinic. Is it a conflict? Yeah, Benjamin. Is it a conflict?
Appointed? Can you re-echo the question?
I think we should rather answer for them.
Government having their own clinic. Do you see that as a good thing?
Don't see what the policy says regards to that, because of course having your other clinic, those are businesses people run, but I don't know what the policy says to that. But we are actually in town price. Sometimes the system kind of like feed the weight. What do I say that? In town price, we saw some of the county health officer facility being even more equipped than that of the public health. We see some of the ministers or whatever hospital facilities being so good. But let's see what the policy says about that. Let's see. The thing about it is, the other thing is good to see as to whether they were managing their facility well, or portion of the what belonged to public facility were also taken to equip there. Let's see. This is where asset declaration comes in. This is where auditing comes in to see whether what belongs to the public facility was not taken to build yours, to build your facility. Because we most of the time see their own facility more vibrant, more equipped, and you see why the public facility lie in Rome. But let's see whether.
Let's see when. Let's see how. What we see, we already see on my own auntie, Madam Wilhelmina Jala, and now we must see again. So I was waiting for to see my brother Benjamin. I mean, you're my friend. We saw you on Wilhelmina Jala. She put COVID something in her clinic. She medication went from JFK to her clinic. There's a big allegation. So why are we repeating the same thing and saying, let's see what?
But no, but a lot of things. But that's like I was saying.
Let me rescue the brother a little bit.
Maybe
No, Gibson way. The people will soon. The man feeling Gibson. I beg you, Uncle Ben, go ahead.
But I can be clear cut to the point that these are the things that can be collected from here and pushed this way, because there are times sometimes donation. Let's take some of the medical material, like maybe or medical equipment, maybe CT scan. Let's see, maybe ultrasound machine. Let's see, X-ray machine. Well, let's see whether the donation is donated to SYC place. But again, I keep saying we need to check out the policy, because as to whether you don't take any of our material. If your employer say, I will employ you, and to employ you, the law says don't be having this facility, don't be having this, then of course we'll see a violation. But currently, anything I say will just be my own opinion, and will actually not have anything much to see as to whether it violates or doesn't violate, because I don't have the policies to that forbid that or so.
Thank you very much, my brother. And we're gonna close with Dr. Kamano. Dr. Kamano, it's all yours, man.
Yeah, so thank you once again to the Spoon and the viewers out there. To touch on this sticky question, I would like to say a minister that has experience in private practice could be a good thing. If you've had a successful private practice, that means you've acquired skills and you've learned how to manage a business properly. However, the issue of conflict of interest, that's where the public, when the government, the president has to hold them accountable. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Wilhelmina Jala. I forgot to do that last week, and I want to appreciate her for the opportunity to serve under her administration at JFK. And Dr. Jala had a successful private practice, and she actually took a salary cut. Likewise, Dr. Poto, Luis Poto. The Potos are well established in Liberia. They're not. She's not doing this for the money. I'm not a spokesperson for her, but I can tell the public that she's not in need of money, and she would stand to lose more money by going to government. She will make more money in the private sector. So let Liberians understand that not everyone takes a position to serve because they want money. There are people who actually want to make a difference and want to make an impact. And Dr. Poto strikes me as someone that wants to do that. You can check. You can go into your background. They're well established. She and her husband. So having she has a record of they have a record of being successful in the private sector, that can translate to success in the public sector with the requisite checks and balances. So that would be my 2 cents on that. And just to close with saying that Liberia is all we have, and we need to all work together and make the most out of it. There were a lot of derogatory and mean comments about because there were some audio issues and they couldn't hear my colleagues. There were people talking about how they sound. And I just want to say, these are people who speak their language. They speak their dialect, the mother tongue. How many of you can speak your mother tongue fluently? So appreciate that we all come from different backgrounds. And, we need to embrace Liberia of what it is. What is happening in the health sector is not unique to the health sector. Look at the police. Are the police able to carry out their mandate? Are they respected? Are they able to do what they're supposed to do? So the issues that are affecting the health sector are crossing in the educational sector. I'm a pediatrician. I will close with this. I like to use analogies. I wish a lot of people seem to not understand. They say, I'm not answering the question. I want you to take your time and just try and figure it out. I often see women with children with malnutrition. Kwashiorkor. They're swollen, they're very wasted. And at times we're like, oh, why are you not feeding the baby? Why are you not providing, protein? Why are you not giving egg, beans, etc.? And this poor mother looks at us and say, she knows what to give, but she cannot afford. And that is the story of Liberia. There are a lot of people who know what they're supposed to do. in the health sector is not because we don't know what we're doing. Do we have what it is? I train in South Africa. I can go anywhere and get a job. So we need more goodwill. We need to speak positively. We need to, if you can't help us, don't hurt us. We have our colleagues that are here and they're doing their best. You in a privileged environment with everything, you will not be able to work in the environment they work with nothing and no motivation. So let's appreciate the little that our people are doing. So I just want to give a shout out to my brothers and sisters, in the fight against, health issue is an issue of national security. We remember that from Ebola. Ebola was not a battle against, it wasn't a military battle. The war was a civil war, it was military. But Ebola, we had an invisible enemy. And the army that fought that war were these same health workers that you are speaking ill about and demeaning. They are the ones that save our butts, excuse my expression. So let's appreciate that if it wasn't for these health workers that didn't speak as we want them to speak or didn't do, we wouldn't be here today. So I just want us to remember that the same health workers that saved us during Ebola are still here, and we're here to save you people. So I just want to appreciate all homegrown. And Dr. Fambule, apologies to the pharmaceutical, my brothers in pharmaceutical. We will get you on, and I'm sorry we didn't have enough time. So Stanton, we love you, we appreciate you. Thank you for having us, and thank you to the listeners for listening to us and for taking your time.
Thank you, Dr. Kamano. It's always good to have you guys. Tio, man, as always, you got to get my number, you and Ben. Let's talk. Let me give you guys heart and small. A great show today, and we appreciate y'all.
So thank you very much. We want to appreciate you for this time. And in my parting comment, I actually want to appreciate the physician assistants that are working in this country. But while I thought to have discussed more, even though the time was not enough for me to have.
Hey, 2 hours, 32 minutes is not enough?
Oh, you took all the time from me as well.
2 hours.
To talk. So
2 hours, 32 minutes?
Yeah, but your panelists took all my time as well. So what I want to provide tonight is physician assistant by theory.
We're even scared to talk before we can't tell our injection. Then you say you give me the injection.
Next time they will just call and show their own. You must call me.
Generations in Liberia, they have been forgetting about. And let me tell you this tonight. One of the things that you hear us crying on a daily basis, that a doctor is not only the doctor should be head of the team. It's because when they are there, they only seek for themselves. So now we also want to go as head. That's why you see, even in the health sector today, we are crying for a deputy minister for administration to be appointed as Made Health Worker, Martin Morris. So if that is appointed, because that position take care of personnel, we are going to cry.
You are what? Can you? I beg you, Theo Feders, please calm down and ask you. You are crying for what?
So we are crying, number one, a Made Health Worker to ascend to a deputy minister position for administration, which the president in his own wisdom have earlier on said that it was an oversight and that was going to be pronounced over. But we are eagerly waiting to hear that pronouncement. And we trust me as a
No. I beg you. Say you won't bring that one inside now. That way is small. I beg you. I wanted to take you guys off before we get into it. So I don't think we should have that conversation because it's politics now. She was appointed as assistant minister. The lady in question, Roger Doma, was the deputy minister appointed. Am I correct?
You are correct.
So now you're saying the president will reconsider her appointment and give her the deputy minister position?
So the president in one of the news outlets, DNS News, said that he expected Martha to have get into that position. But the name that was announced was on the contrary. So therefore,
you said that there's a news that came out saying that. I disagree because there's nothing official. Anything official should be on the executive mansion website. So any other news contrary to that, I think, is something that you need to verify. We are on Spoon. I do not want us to come up with information from individual outlets. If the president is going to reconsider his appointment, it should come by way of the executive mansion website, not by Facebook pages. Am I right, Jackie? I'm correct, right?
You are absolutely right. If it's not on the executive mansion website, then that's the official information that comes out of the office of the presidency. So if there's news anywhere else and it's not on the executive mansion website,
It's not official.
there's no way we can there's no way to validate that unless it's on the executive mansion website.
So in conclusion from my end, I want to take this time to appreciate our new health minister. And I do believe that our salary is going to be looked at.
Change the topic. I let you feel like you change the topic quick. You say, I'm getting there.
So therefore, we trust her ability that she's going to ask for folders for 10 over note, and we know that our salary is going to be elevated. And our career opportunities are going to be equal, and there will be access to those opportunities regardless of your profession.
You are always welcome.
Always behind the banner for your right, and we can assure you that we'll protect you at all times. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benjamin.
So thank you so much again. With that, like I said earlier, we say thank you for the time, but just like who became medical director, who had the hospital took almost all of the time, and with so many brainy issues still remaining, we can leave from here without talking about our colleagues who are volunteering in the hospital. Unfortunately, Doe is not here today. And we say since 2019 there has not been any significant employment in the Ministry of Health as they stand of our work. And so having large percentage of our colleagues who are working absolutely for free. That means they are volunteering, and in Liberia volunteer don't carry anything home. And so we're thinking that the government is going to look in that direction to see how they can find means to employ our colleagues. And when it comes to salary for mid-level health workers in the country is very, 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 very low. I say stand by my word that I don't see any Ministry of Health nurse employed in the Ministry of Health as either a bedside nurse or in the clinic making anything more than 300. I still want to see the data. I hope we can be looking at direction. You are referring to the policy at 1,000 pages. It's not 1,000. It's at 38 pages. And we took our time 1 year, 6 months to prepare to work on the policy document that talk about reclassification and salary reclassification and pay grade issue. On this policy, nurses' salary were being increased incrementally or done, and that's supposed to start in this particular 2024. We just saw a moratorium from the Civil Service Agency that there's a moratorium on employment promotion, and so I hope that moratorium will not last long, because we as nurses will not sit down by the low salary anymore. If you require us to step, we will step, because we have been so diplomatic for a very long time. We are start by the low salary. You can see a nurse earning far, far, far less as they do. We are start by they trying to negotiate, waiting for the policy. None of the policies that if only strike will be the one required for our salary to go up, of course we will not be diplomatic anymore, because we have been bearing it for so long time. If you told us the government is continuing the policy, all the stakeholders in the country have their signature on the policy. If the policy implementation does not hold, if a salary for health workers, especially nurses, are not increased, if the only solution will be to strike, obviously I will be the one to lead the strike. And this time we're not sitting home with a march. All the way, we ourselves will block the same road if only that will require our salary to go up. And we pray that will not reach. Of course, we will say this. In the election for that brought President Barker on board, nurses had to even go against their will, because we are not supposed to have been so much heavily as we were involved in politics, but we had to do that because we felt that situation was not fine for us. And we had to do that because we were thinking that we had to change this government because situation was not working for us in the government. If we did that, we expect a reward. In politics, a reward is not in heaven, a reward right here. And so we expect to have that reward. So if we will not have our salary increase, if we will not have nurses being placed in strategic positions, obviously that would be a slap in our face because we ourselves stood very, very tall. Her workers stood tall. If I would not say anything, I say salary for nurses needs to be increased.
Thank
and
you.
This salary increment, I hope
So how much
it will
the
not
nurses
be
are making right
the
now?
usual way. Let's give her time. We will not give much time again.
How much
Thank
the
you,
nurses
Benjamin.
are
I
making
beg
right
you,
now?
Gibson. I beg you, brother. They gotta go. We all gotta go, my man. To this Saturday, I can just smell my Carlos green. Seriously, I'm smelling it, my man. Very, very good. I want to go eat some. But
So,
Benjamin,
can I ask Theo
I
one
want
quick
to ask
question?
Benjamin a question, and y'all will come in with your question because they gotta go. But let me ask one small, quick question. Small, quick. Benjamin, the letter in question. I know you didn't bring it up, but your feathers brought it up. The letter in question, Benjamin. Can you tell us if you know whether you and Theophilo, what's her credential level or education level?
Who education level?
Yeah, Theophilus can answer that.
They're referring to you, the qualification.
So like you said that we are not in the politics, but you want to we have just used that term. And we have just used that time to propagate our PA message, like my colleague said. Our salary, if it is not local.
No, the reason why I asked it, Theo, we already talked about the salary. We'll get there. If they don't pay you, you'll say you will take the street. We hear that message. The reason why I'm asking, the position deputy minister, it comes with certain credential level. Okay, I'm asking if you can have that position at what level when you talk about education credential. I don't want us to go there. You choose not to go there. Maybe we'll speak to ourselves, and I respect you for that. So thank you very much to Benjamin Swami. Thanks to Theophilio Fayai. And thanks to my own sister, Siawata Kamano. It's always good having you guys. I hope next time we can talk to Dr. Fambula on the pharmacist side of this, which is very important. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you. Have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Liberia.
Thank you, all of us. And you want to be leaving with a message of salary increment for her workers. Thank you.
Man, how many nurses are making? If you keep talking about it, they need to tell us.
The man said that last week you were absent. He said it last week, but you were absent.
On the street.
Okay, so I want to say at the end of the day, all right, I want to say at the end of the day, I really appreciate that they had the time to come on, and these things are concerning in our country. Dr. Richardson, thank you for holding it down. Jackie, thank you for joining us. Today is a good Saturday. I really want to just come in. Let's just take off the word he left out about that lady, Jackie. I know you wanted to say something, but I want us to have the political conversation in their absence. I don't want them to mess them up with this kind of politics. A lot of stuff happening, Jackie, and it's all on social media. That her position was switched, was changed, right? But I want to announce today, something is running at Colonial Crab. Is that her name, right? Cornelius? What's her name?
Cornelia Kuran.
Yeah. They said that the president suspended her. That was a lie. That's fake news. An executive mansion announcement came out. No, she's not suspended. So let's just lay that to rest. We'll put up the executive mansion press release. She's not suspended. Now, another story came on and said they were switching names on the appointment. So we investigated. I don't think it was really switching names. Every appointment is approved by the president. So I want to bring you in, Madam Jackie McKay. Talk to us about what you know.
Okay, so of course, with the process, you have a lot of people who may have similar interests or interest in the same position. And in the end, it is the president's prerogative to pick or select among the short list who needs to be hired or appointed for that position. And once that takes place, the announcement goes out. It goes on the Executive Mansion website. So in the end, the buck stops with the president, because in the Constitution, it says will and pleasure of the president. He appoints these people at his will and at his pleasure. I'm sure if for any reason something goes wrong, the Executive Mansion, those who work there, will make the necessary correction, and those who are responsible for, but in the end, it is the president, and I don't think that something will go out, without him, because again, the Constitution said he appoints at the will of his pleasure, his will and his pleasure. So the information out there will be information that will float out there. It happens; those things happen. That's why we have the press secretary who has her press conference, press briefing every Friday, to address the media and answer those questions that are out there. So I'm sure she has answered it. She had a press conference on Friday. I didn't have the opportunity to really listen to the press conference. So I'm sure she answered it. If she hasn't, she will be answering it in her upcoming press conference.
So, Dr. Richardson, it's very good for us to be so clear on this issue, because we can announce to folks that this conversation tonight is seriously coming down to senators accusing, folks accusing some senators. Senators are blaming. The ballpark here is that the president appoints, and these folks that are working for the president at the executive mansion, just moving papers around with the instruction of the president. That's what we hope, though. That's what we all hope that is happening. So to come up today and say, well, she is suspended, like some people are saying, the executive mansion on a Saturday, they have to put out this release that she's not. She's not suspended, and she is not the one making decision on the appointment. These appointments run through the president pen and paper. He signed them, he cross-checked it, he approved it. So anything of the contrary, where are you, Dr. Richardson? Because it's getting to be seriously concerning.
I'll go by what the executive mansion said. Like you said, ultimately it's the president who is making decisions. So that's what I will follow. I believe the concern is people just seem to be talking about job. And I wish, the focus can be on how they're going to help build Liberia. But I will definitely stick to what the executive mansion said. And they're allowed to, even if they made a mistake, which you're saying it wasn't a mistake, but they're allowed to do that. People make mistakes. There's a lot of positions that, that require people body. So, I won't hold them responsible right now for making mistakes.
Thank you. Gibson?
Well, for me, first of all, I'm of the opinion that the president, when he appoints, nobody is supposed to interfere with that appointment. It makes the president look bad. Because when it comes to the point where the president of our country can say, oh, that error came from a clerical staff, it's not supposed to be that way. A clerical staff is not supposed to make any mistake. They're supposed to be meticulous. Before they take something to the president, it's already cross-checked, and the president signs it. It cannot be swapped. The woman in question does not have, even though she was the head of the national health workers, she was the head of the national health worker, but she doesn't have any administrative position. But even if she had the administrative experience, why would the president appoint somebody, then another name surface and say that person is now going into the other position? It makes the president look like he don't know what he's doing. But all of us now are confused. Is it Joseph Boakai in charge, or Prince Moi in charge, or any of these senators who are interfering with the appointment process just because they are family member, their relative, their friends, or people of their interest? They want them to be in position, and they are stopping other people from taking over. This is really bad for our national politics. We cannot continue to make the president look like he doesn't know what he's doing, and that's mainly my concern. We can't do that. If Dor Kobo was appointed by the president, which is still on the website, the president should go through with that appointment and should not allow people in the Senate to bully him. In fact, no.
Let me ask you a question. Right? Dor Kobo, what was his position? His appointed position.
That's the same position, the Deputy Minister for Administration.
Okay, good. Let me hold you there. Let's talk about matters. Yeah, they appointed Martha to what? What was her appointed position?
Deputy Minister for Administration too.
No, the document that came out.
But Gibson, how do
Wait,
you
I'm making
the presidential appointment.
No, Gibson, let me ask you a question now. I'm begging you. Give us a chance to ask you.
I'm the new guest. Okay,
No, you are not a guest. We're just having a conversation. I can never make you a guest.
Ahead.
And that's why I will leave the show. I cannot make you I will leave the show right now if I make you a guest, Gibson. But let's discuss this issue. Seriously speaking, Doug Cooper is, I'm not pronouncing it right, Doug Cooper, right?
Yeah, Doug Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, Doug Cooper was appointed as deputy minister.
Yes.
Madam Morris, I want to see the appointment letter, the list that came out. I want us to point to what position they gave Madam Morris. Which position?
Madam Morris, the influence is coming from.
I'm not asking about influence. No, don't do that to us. I'm asking you which position.
How many people have letter? I got my friend who was appointed.
No, Gibson.
Not everybody have letter.
Gibson.
People new are published.
Gibson. I beg you. Let's be on the record. Let's be truthful tonight. Not what you think. Or appointment position on the executive mansion website say what?
She is not appointed on the executive mansion website as deputy minister for administration at the Ministry of Health. It was Doug Cooper who was appointed.
Okay, but you answer the question. Gibson, I'm begging you. I will still hold you there. This our sister that fought during the election. She fought tirelessly. I respect her. Even a sitting lawmaker went after her. We know her story. She's a fighter. And I can't wait to talk to Martha. She fought. But my question to you, Gibson, right? Her appointed position on the e-mansion page is what?
You tell me. I don't have. She not on the
e-mansion. No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm asking you.
So you need to tell me because I don't see her name among the I don't see her name among the deputy minister position. So how is she now being swapped for deputy minister position? That's my question.
You say you have not seen her name and you say she's been swapped? So where are we?
Among deputy minister position.
How do you conclude that her name
among deputy minister's position? I'm concerned about the position that she's been assuming, or they are trying to make her assume deputy minister. According to the presidential appointment, one person was appointed as deputy minister, and that was Doug Cooper. So why is it difficult for Doug Cooper to now be going for confirmation? Why is it being stalled? Why is it being stalled? Why is it stalled in the presidential appointment?
Gibson, let's give Jackie a chance. Jackie, I think Gibson just coming to do a blow or door whistle here, okay? I don't believe it.
Door whistle.
No, but Gibson, don't interrupt us now, my brother. I don't believe it. I think Gibson coming to do the door whistle or something. Let's go to the executive mansion website. First of all, thank you, Jackie. Come in.
So, Gibson, it's been over a week since this appointment was made, or these two appointments. If for any reason, for the sake of argument, that there was an error in that appointment, the correction would have been made by now. So clearly, the appointment is what it is, and these individuals are set for the confirmation hearing. So I don't know where you get that from. Yeah, things float around the internet. I've seen it. But the official announcement and information coming from the office of the president is the executive mansion. And to date, no correction has been made to those two appointments. So for you to continue to say, well, this is the position that she was also have, where did you get that? Other than the social media, did you see that? Did the executive mansion say, oh, by the way, this is the position this person was also have, so now we will think about correcting it? You did not see that information anywhere. So I'm puzzled as to why you are looking at the executive mansion website, but yes, still going contrary to what the executive mansion has put out there, and it's been several days since that announcement was made.
No, the point is you are belaboring the point, and I don't want to be superficial, because superficial means we're doing a business as usual, or we're being politically correct.
Man, stop, man. Stop,
politically. No, you're trying to be politically correct. The
No,
president make
you are wrong.
appointment.
We know.
The list is
know.
on the website, but people are stalling the process. People are stalling the process. And when people are stalling the process and they are pushing their interest to take that position, which is why they are stalling the process, then they are undermining the authority of the president. That's what I'm saying.
Gibson, again,
okay.
You're a well-learned gentleman, 73 years old, 63 years old. I'm not actually concerned about your age, right? I don't even know what I'm saying it for. But we don't understand something. Give us one of the executive mansion website document that shows that Madam Martha Morris was appointed to deputy minister position.
First of all, let me make the correction. It's not Doko, it's Rogers Doma. So let's make that correction.
I'm not okay. Forget the correction and let somebody pass will all share on behind you. Yeah. I'm just saying, yeah.
Sorry, my man.
You gotta
Sorry.
adjust the camera. I'm just asking you, Gibson. I'm asking you, please, give us that page, that appointment information that tells you that Madam Morris was appointed as deputy minister.
There is no executive mansion appointment page that you can point to, but it's what I'm saying. You are being politically correct. Because people can stall other people's appointment because of the power and the interest they have, which is what Prince Moy is doing. And I have to call his name, and he can come and clarify and say he has not been pushing for Martha Morris to go in a position as deputy. Let him come and prove me wrong. In fact, what I'm learning is he is telling President Bouakai that if Martha is not put there, then it will be difficult for them to confirm some of the nominees. That's what he's trying to do. I'm a journalist. I got sources too. It's just as you got sources. The sources might not be written, but I cannot tell you now who is in a Prince Moy office who called me and told me that. I can't tell you that they're going to be dismissed tomorrow morning. But we have to be very careful when the president makes an appointment. People have interest, let the president appoint them. But if you don't have interest and the president makes the appointment, let all of us obey the appointment. Let the appointment go through. In the future, you can influence the president, can move that person. But in the process of trying to confirm the Roger Doma, then you start the process because you feel that you are superior senator who supported the president in Bon County, and you have authority because the president is coming from Bon County. Therefore, the person will be there. That is the whole problem.
If you have any conversation,
from Bon, he's from Nimba.
And Roger Doma from Nimba, but Prince Moy from Bon County.
You know why? Listen, to each his own. I want to say that to Richard. Say I have something else to say. I hope we can talk to Madam Martha. And I really like the fight she fought. Seriously.
Yeah, I want you to cover Roger Doma to bring him on. You will not even speak because you don't want to interfere with.
She's a great lady. But I want to, before we close, I want to support this list up. You know, Mo Ali, Labrador Water and Sweat is in trouble. Mo Ali is in big trouble. Mo Ali is in trouble. The Labrador Water and Sweat they are in serious. This is just water only though. The mini more, the oil 1,400. The mini Morris. Look at the ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Health, Minister of Health kills, Minister of Justice, Labor. These are serious issues that is concerning. Here we are. We have the whole is 14,000 names, over 500 papers, document. That's what Richard said. I'm seeing the Chief Justice name on the thing. Hey, I pray that she shouldn't come after me. Oh. I'm seeing Madam Sadif name on the list and all. Some people name on the list. I'm so afraid. Go and pay your water bill. I didn't say the Chief Justice. Now the Chief Justice. I don't know why I call him the Chief Justice of my Omar. Yeah, man. And you know, but seriously, let's think ahead. No, the Chief Justice of my Omar. I take that back. But on a serious note, folks, here we are, Dr. Richard saying. People are owing the country, right? I'm saying that the RB Bank, the international bank, they are owing huge amount of money. I'm seeing the Okay, so y'all want me to say it? Okay, so listen, my sources say it, right? My sources, let me be very correct because I'm the Chief Justice. I won't get in trouble. So Jackie, please don't say nothing to me next time, Jackie. There's a Chief Justice I owe my scenario. So my sources said
Jackie, the Chief Justice, eh? Okay, we'll see.
The Chief Justice is owing $7,383.98.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you say
And
7,000?
Huh?
Did you say 7,000?
$7,383.98. Madam Sally owing a little over, the former president owing a little over 17,000. The information from our sources, under that allegation. How you want how you want me to say this thing? I don't want nobody calling me tomorrow, holding me in contempt. But they are on the paper. They are on the paper.
If your paper is correct, it's even more alarming, Stanton, that Liberian government is owing itself. Yeah. All of those ministries that you listed, they're the governmental agencies, governmental bodies. So if you want things to work well in our country, you should be able to set models. You should be the role model. You should be like the people who are setting agendas, okay, for the other people in the country to follow. But if you're not paying a bill and you're in ministries and you former president or you justice, then how you expect the other people to pay their bill? The poor mom, Mary, and the poor Peter to pay their bill. So I'm not sure if I'm understanding how they expect things to run in our country. I feel bad for Mo Ali, and everybody knows that Mo Ali are not often on the same page. But I think he has his work cut out for him. I would advise him to set up a website, Water and Sewer website, where he can put a general announcements. I advise him to find a way to be able to reach out to these people. I mean, there's a lot of money that he can get. There's an outstanding bill out there.
But some of this thing that Dr. Rich is saying, we're scared to call some of them because they will hold us in contempt.
Yeah, don't call them because you will hold in contempt.
I'm going to call them, but you're my friend, but her name on the list. So I will call her. My sources are this. You must say your sources. You know the allegation. You know Jackie said that what I should say. So I'm going by what Jackie want me to say. So Jackie, thank you very much for helping me out. But we get information here, and on a serious note, it is embarrassing. George Manor, we are on this list. A house, a 2 property, the 14, the 50 something condominiums. Didn't pay a dime, Gibson. The man owing a lot of money. George Manor, we are the former president. They pay a dime, all of his property.
Jesus.
Yeah. All of George Manor, we are property. I mean, how we expect the country to improve? On a serious note, I can share the list with everybody. If you say the people aren't giving you water, but what about the sewer, Madam Jackie? They come and help. Can you pay something? Can you pay your bill? You know, individual name. Look at this guy that can share food. What is the Indian guy name? What's the Indian man name?
Jetty.
Jetty. All of Jetty company owing. All of Jetty company owing. All. Because some people used to go and collect cattle.
Let's read the list back.
Okay, let me put it in. Let me put it in.
Give to me. Let's read the list.
Yeah.
No, but this is.
I'm gonna be scared. You know what they are doing? First of all, these people, they meant to do it. They know that Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation is struggling, and they receive services, but they cannot pay for these services. And the ordinary person in the street who got water and sewer, they will cut their line because they want to prove something. So if the people cannot pay, then the people in the community they are pressing them. Why should Jetty not pay?
Yeah.
Why should Jetty go like Jetty? Why should you give your pass? Why should you give George Weah pass? If George Weah have Jamaica and Jamaica is consuming water, let him pay. It is not government. It's not government official. Government is in his house. The Minister of State pay his bill.
The other thing I'm scared to pull it up. Y'all don't send me the people that name. Some of the justices them like they're owing. I'm not gonna do this to you. I ain't gonna
Send
be
it
called.
to me. Send it to me.
I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
I'll
be
read
called.
the name.
I ain't gonna be called money. They say that old man about old man. I'm not gonna be called. You will not put me in your situation. I'm not
Don't
gonna
be
be
afraid
called.
of the tyranny of the court.
Yeah,
You have
after
to
you finish
challenge it.
saying that, you will be the same person who start laughing at me. I gotta share this with you guys, but seriously, folks, a lot of people are owing. Jetty owing and Jetty choose. You know what? He's not even talking about paying. The International Bank owing $9,068.17. The International Bank. All right. I mean, where are we with all this thing? Jackie, talk to us, man.
Well, the new managing director put that information out there. I'm sure he's going to put in new mechanisms to make it easier for people to make their payments and to make sure that he collects on the arrears.
Oh, wait! I beg you, Jackie. Mary Brody is here. But Mary Brody owing only $222. No, I gotta put it up. No, seriously. Huh?
When I'm Mary Bro, you can put it up.
No. Mary Brody is here. Mary Brody, my own man. I mean, we gotta. Oh. No. Seriously, folks. Go. Sorry to interrupt you, my sister. Let me share this thing with you guys. Then y'all can help me because how Mary Brody catching people from power theft, but she ain't paying her own water bill. I'm surprised, folks. Jackie, go ahead. I gotta pull this thing up.
Stanton, where did you get that list?
From my sources.
They will tell you, you are taking a repute logo.
From my sources. I get everybody's name. Madam Salif name on it. The Chief Justice name on it. The justices their name on it. Every person where he's the highest. He pay a dime. But I'm surprised. And I'm gonna pull it up. Every time we'll come do the show, I will pull it up. Because we need to.
I think they can garnish President.
Is that list being validated?
But go ask the water and swear guy. Go ask the guy. Go ask bro. You see Mary, bro? You see her?
Oh my God.
You see that, man?
So Kendall and Honor pay. Look at Mary. Oh my God. Mary, bro, she owing $223. And every day she
$221.
$221.
18 cents. But then she running behind people to go collect LDC bill for them. You know, this is not right. They put it without confirm more Ali. No, seriously. No, but look at this. I gotta put this up too. I gotta put this up. This is.
He went through the confirmation.
He did. He went through the confirmation hearing already.
But they didn't. They confirmed him already.
I think.
Yeah.
No,
well,
I
they
think
gotta write the president and indicate his confirmation. So maybe they are not reaching the president yet.
But man, but on a serious note, though, I think he's doing extremely well. But my sources that sent this to me, I will share this. I will share this.
Yeah, you check the list. Why can't you be there because you say
no, my man, stop, man, stop. You see, that's why I'm not sharing the list with you. Seriously.
Okay.
That's
I will not talk about Bagay. I will not talk about Bagay. Share with me.
Yeah.
I will never talk about Bagay. I promise.
You want us to share the list, then you want to call.
I promise. I will not call Bagay name.
He pay all his arrears before becoming president because he knew that you are out there, Jerry.
No, on a serious note, though, this thing is concerning Ojiro.
I mean,
all right, so let me put this.
People, Jetty is not paying.
Jetty not paying.
How about capital? I don't know what they got building material.
But I put in everything on. So you see Maryborough, right? So we take Maryborough down. We gotta put the other one up. But these people gotta pay. I think
do you have to show all these people names?
No, it's a public record. It's a public record.
This is a credible media institution.
It's a public record.
This is a credible media institution. We get information, we give it to the librarian. I can open the phone now. I will open the phone and let our 10 librarian. What if they don't want us to show this name? Then I will start. You have over 14,000 ministers, lawmakers refusing to pay that which they owe to the government. If we can collect over $7 million from Liberia Water and Sewer, the country will be in a better place. We got to set up a task force, and that will be my suggestion to the incoming MD. People that will go after this money, don't bring Maryborough because you owe it. You cannot bring back Maryborough. But we have to.
I can serve on the task force. I can serve on the task force.
If we don't do this thing, Jackie, if we don't do these things, our country will not be improved. Monday, everybody should be running to the Liberia Water and Sewer Health office to go pay this money. Everybody. $221. Maryborough can take that money and buy cake. What she can go pay? I mean, it's not me. Look on this list. Look at people named on this list. Sadiki Traore.
But my friend now.
Signet Divine. C.I.S. Williams. Thomas Pamon Sia. Sienna Abulaki. Who are other names on Sienna Abulaki? What kind of name is that?
I can call that one for you. Sienna Yo, you know. They are Sienna Yo, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia.
I know that
whole. If she's owing
let me take it on. Put it back. That mistake. No, that mistake. Let me take it off. Give me bad man. Let me take it off.
I've never seen that kind of mistake.
Yes, don't do that on the show. Don't do that. Guess you bad man. You bad man. You said my Oma now. Seriously, that Oma and my Oma. Seriously speaking, that Oma, I let her bad way. She very very smart, like my Oma. So I'm not gonna. So I'm looking for Edwin Snow name. Yo, no, let's see if we find Edwin Snow name.
But Edwin Snow told you that he gonna make sure.
Edwin Snow say he call for Ali. But you know what? Yes, a mistake. I'm the one that sending this name to Mo Ali. I'm the one sending it to him, right? Because I think he doesn't want to get involved with it. So I just appreciate the talent that God have given some of us. You know. But Dr. Richardson, this is big though. I don't know why you're so quiet because you guys are friends. My name is Joseph Fanokon, so I will call it. So where are you, Dr. Richardson, with the whole thing?
Just interesting, that's all. The new director has his hands full. It surprises me that people in government are asking others to be model citizens and pay their bill, and yet instead it's the government owning the government. So it's alarming, discouraging. My only thing is I believe that I would like for him to just develop some sort of mechanism where he can reach out. Either I know our mailing system is bad. This is why we have to use a public medium, because we don't have. It's not like here where we have a way to mail out the bills to people and they get it. You can't say using telephone because not everybody have the same telephone or the same number or have data to put in their phone number. So what do you do? It's an interesting and delicate subject matter, but it's sad to know that people who are working in the government are not paying their bills. How do you expect the government to run? How do you expect these agencies?
We should garnish the paychecks. Those are working in the government.
Well, you can do that. I guess you can do that. But
yeah, we should garnish the paycheck.
Let me say that the government or the former boss of the LWSC didn't give them any awareness in terms of how they were using the water. Like sometimes you just get a bill. You don't even know the gallon that you use, how many amount of water you use, the percentage that was used that month. So they don't know. Sometimes even when the water is terminated, they still get a bill. So I think we need to strengthen that sort of.
I'm sorry, Dr. Richardson. Let me just, I beg you, Mama. Somebody sent this. Let me just correct Gibson. Gibson, yesterday list, Minister of Health, Roger S.W.Y. Doman, Deputy Minister of Administration, and Martha Morris, Assistant Minister for Administration. So there was no mistake here. That's the list. There's a list the president signed and sent out. So any other thing that is not written in stone, signed by the president, is speculation from Gibson Jeru. So let's go back to our list. Yeah, I just need to make that correction. Let's go back to this list. The list is huge, folks. I'm afraid this list will cause problem. Dr. Richardson, can you please continue, because somebody say, no, folks, let's do this. Everything I've been looking at, I have never seen Kwame's name. Let me be correct. I have not seen Kwame's name, but now saying you asking me whether Kwame's name on the list. Listen, there are 14,000 names, over 500 papers, document with 14,000 names. So say you're looking for Kwame's, let me go to C and see what I will see, Dr. Richardson.
I mean, it's whether his rules or not, it would be a preference for him to pay. It doesn't matter that this is the mistake. It matter who on the list. If you're supposed to pay a bill, just like in America, I'm supposed to pay my bill.
Gonglo, because Gonglo have been offering free services to people, so he deserves some free things. So.
Now, when you get low from his companies, he's supposed to pay. He pay the bill. I mean, we all pay consequences in other parts of the world for not paying the bill. This is how the capitalism works. You have to be able to contribute this.
Jackie, you pay your own water bill?
They can be receiving free services, and that's it. So,
Stanton, go to Jackie, go to Jay.
Let me go to Jay.
I haven't been here in this country, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but this is, but on a serious note, guys, this is not a joke, though. This is very.
Yes, the question: how did the last administration allow a list, assuming the list is validated? Because Mo Ali just took office, so he has to go through each and every line. Yeah, they gave him that information and said, "This is what you have. This is what your accounts receivable looks like. This is what your books look like. Your financial records looks like." So, but how is it that the previous administration allowed this list to grow like this, to this amount, to leave it for his the last MD, his successor, to deal with this mess? But I'm sure Mo Ali, it will take time for him to straighten it out. Yeah, we really have a lot of work to do in the water and sewer and sector. So I'm sure that will be taken care of. But my question is, how is it that the previous MD allowed the list to grow like this?
But you know what happened here? You know what happened here? Something happened, right? At the end of the day, you know, we have problem with this entity, and the guys are under investigation now through LDCC, and some of them have negotiated. They have set a plea backing. Now they have turned to be a government witness. So what is going on? What we are saying is that some people were just saying, you know what, you don't have to pay. Give us what you can give us, and let's keep on moving. They owe the country over $7 million. So when we put our hand on this thing, it's not because we want to just call name. It is concerning for Liberians home and abroad. We asking for money. We want Joseph Boakai and his government to do better. But if you owe 200 and I owe 300 or 500, what can we just pay? Now you will go after the little men, the little folks out there, and say, you know what, come and pay your 100. But then you just say you owe it. You're a big shot. Look at Jetty trading. Look at everything. They are owing. And look at people over here.
I see $275. I mean, right? And then there's a negative 2.5.
That's a Richardson. You can owe $1 set of money.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
These things adding up to make 7 million. 7 million. You know, and people gotta go pay. I'm looking for the senator them. I found some of them, but I'm looking for them. I'm looking for the senator them. I'm still looking for Mr. Cummings. I don't see his name here yet. I think Mr. Cummings is
somebody is asking if Spoon is on our list.
Good question. If Spoon is on the list, I don't think it's a bad thing because Spoon will have to go pay.
That's correct.
And you know, Spoon will have to go pay. I'm going to S. I'm not saying Spoon yet. I don't know which name they're using though. This is on.
So people can use different type of names. What's the color? What's the color your baby? What do you go?
Well, let me be on the list. So can look for Spoon. Only here, I'm looking for Spoon.
Okay. So what's the color of your water? You go put it in a different person name?
No, I don't think so. I just think that people just gotta go pay Dr. Richardson. To tell you the truth, the people must go pay, man. You know, we can laugh and joke, but this is hurting our government, it's hurting the system. People need to go pay. And, you know, some people name that are saying, yeah, you know, it's very, very, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, it's really, really bad. I'm seeing a couple of the senator names here because, you know, their stuff is registered under their name. One famous senator that always like to talk, and, you know, he or she name is on this list. I just came across their name. I'm going to hold that till I can reach out to them. Can you please go pay this week or else I will show your name? One famous senator.
That's not why you begin calling some people names and then you leaving other people names out.
I will never put the senator name up. I will never. Gives me want to be bad.
Don't put anybody name up.
Okay, today I'm putting anybody name up because I got to speak to the senator first. You know, my Gibbs, you want to be
Can I just correct you? Yesterday was Charlene LIB, one of our supporter daughter's birthday. Charlene, sorry we didn't recognize your daughter's birthday, but tell her happy belated birthday. She's always here. That is Charlene LIB Manaj. Her daughter's birthday was yesterday. So please tell your daughter happy birthday. She's always watching us. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys from.
No, thank you. We done. You're right, Charlene. Happy birthday to your daughter. But let's say this though. I'm saying you can call my name on it. Somebody will tell you can get friends with me. The representative you can call my guy. You
not been taking pay. That's why you're not paying.
You can call my name is on the list from district number 10. I'm seeing the representative name on the list. You can call back and go pay. Seriously. And you know, you can call back name on the list. He told, he calls it, he making plan, but he can't go pay. You know how much you owe him? He owe you $1,900. You can call back and go in the show and they can raise this money for him.
Wow.
Yeah, that just for zero. We're not talking about water. You can call back name on the list. Somebody please wait the representative on his name on the list. But let's go home, man. A beautiful show today. A beautiful. If I stay here, I will show some people that need that I don't want to show.
Okay, let's go home.
Don't show anybody. Don't show anybody else's names.
Let's go home.
I really want to see the list. I want you to check the names with the JMB. Now I want you to check.
JMB name on the thing. Your current minister name on the list. So the people that they just put their hand up in the executive mansion that were saying, I swear to do everything perfect. Their name on the list.
Good job, bad. Good job, bad. That's all.
How are they calling it with something?
They put their hand up, right? And JMB said you would do everything perfect.
No what are you talking about?
They swear, but the name on the list, they gotta go pay. Seriously. Your current minister they're in the executive mansion, their name on the list, they gotta go pay.
Jesus.
Yeah. The people that are just chemo. I'm talking about minister
the problem, they kill the institution and they expect the institution to provide services. That's the problem. For me, the water and sewer should give them 1 month notice. And if you don't pay within that 1 month, they cut your water, they cut your sewer services.
I don't think you should give them 1 month. I think you set a
because
tax
you
force.
gotta get a notice.
You set a
That's what
tax
they can do.
force. I agree. You set a tax force. They go after them. This is
Yeah,
too much
but
work
Stanton,
already.
Get an
Stanton,
ultimatum.
this, we don't know what the system was in the past. So I think Gibson, although I hate to agree with him because of the things that he normally says, yeah, let's give them some time to come forward. Did they receive their last bill? Do they know what's really going on? And that would give them time to check their records, and including the different entities, and come back and say, this is what I have on my side in terms of
But
my
my
records.
thing is that, Madam Jackie.
Set up payment arrangement. Set up payment arrangement. And pay over
But
time.
do you know how long they've been?
They garnish their
accruing
check.
these bills?
They call minister that come in, you garnish all their check. Garnish the president, the former president check. They may as well get presidential immunity.
Does that list say how long they've been accruing the bill? Is it recent?
The list is up to present. It's up to present.
Oh.
To the present time, they print it out.
Yeah, but
seeing
it
the
should
names.
show. It should show. That's a good question, Dr.
It's not my
Richardson
business
asked.
to
It
see
should
how
show
long. My
the
only business to
arrears.
call his name. Jackie,
Is
you
it
and Dr.
5
Richardson,
months bill?
you and Dr. Richardson leave me alone. I'm not the MD that coming in. It's not my business to see
Is
how
it
long.
2
No.
months? Is it 1 month bill?
Because for me,
Is
that
it
was
10 years bill? So all that stuff gotta be.
President,
worked
we are
out.
named on the list. His house on 9th Street. His
how
house,
to
his
organize
President,
the
we are
payment
home
system.
on 9th Street. President, we are home where he came from, where they play Arrow 2, how they call that place. President, we are condominium, everything. They're not been paying water and sewer bill. Right? And let me say this.
They
It's
should
not a
garnish
joke
his
that I
check.
put it on him.
They may be receiving 1,000 plus. They should garnish that check.
They should garnish it. They should garnish it.
Garnish it, man, check.
I'm surprised that some minister that put their hand up 2 days ago, they are not paying. It's bad. It's bad. But you better let me go before. Okay, you better let me go before. You better let me go before I start calling people. They're also great show, folks. Let's go, man. Let's just go in peace.
Yeah.
Good day. Good day. I'll see you later.
Yeah,
Money I know
thank you,
before
guys.
money come. I will put plenty name up before money come. But you're bad.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, sneak so to me. Sneak so to me.
James, you want to come on, James? Where you at?
See you later, Jackie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Stand
Yeah,
up,
I gotta
bye.
stay on to. All right, Mama Jackie. I see you Monday. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Folks, we want to see a wonderful show till we can wait for the big that Nelson coming on. There you go, Nelson. See you later, my man. Let me go. Folks, thank you for joining us. Have a good night, Nelson.
Okay, folks, we want to say thank you for being here with us tonight. Thanks to all of you who made your contributions in the comment section. Thanks to you who called in. Thanks to you in Radio Lane for following this edition of the program as well. We'll be here tomorrow with another edition of Spoon Talk. Until then, my name is Nelson Collier. Have a good night. Coming up at 1 a.m. will be the late night show on Spoon. You can make up time to join us. Until then, have a good night and bye-bye for now.
Bamba, clean bamba. What I want? Yes, man, you batty, yes, man, you batty,